Lone Wolf, Demon Slayer, Shadow Ring, Alien Overlord, the Genius, the first to exterminate a ruling species, War God, one of the 9 heroes, and many more. These titles were earned by Hyeok over 15 years as a hunter and finally as a savior. But even after waiting for 6 months, the outbreak never came. No alien races, no awakened superhumans. None of it existed in this world. Ultimately, Hyeok had to accept this was a different Earth than the one he knew. In any case, the fact that the outbreak didn't happen was truly a blessing for the people of this world, even if that meant the Resistance's sacrifices were meaningless. Not long ago, on a sunny day, Hyeok appeared, lying on the ground, his eyes darting around as he joyfully exclaimed, "Did I succeed? Thank heavens, I've returned at the optimal time. I have about 7 months before the invasion. Until then, I must train this weak body and stockpile resources for the crisis. The fate of 8 billion people depends on me. This time, I must awaken the moment the first outbreak happens. I'll prepare my body for it." 7 months later, at Bukhansan, Hyeok watched a boulder, waiting nervously. In 1 minute and 30 seconds, a wormhole would open right here. My body is far from its peak condition, but I've at least met the minimum requirements. In 1 more minute, a wormhole will appear at the rock, and with it, a powerful wave of mana will pour out. Like a baptism, it forcibly alters the human body, and carves an awakening circuit, a channel for mana. The real problem is the alien vanguard that appears with the wormhole in Korea. They were giant ants and 4-legged cockroaches. At his peak, they were nothing but fodder. But now, even 5 or 6 newly awakened hunters would struggle against a single one. But with my experience, I'll be able to handle them. It's about to open. Hyeok focused, counting down. 3, 2, 1. Now. Flashing back to the previous outbreak, 25 years after alien monsters invaded Earth, the end of the world had come. Humanity launched its final counterattack. Dragon Emperor Kabuna led the resistance army, rallying their spirits. The only way to end this war is to kill the alien ruler. Offer your last breath for humanity. Their enemy appeared, perfectly calm, and launched a direct assault against the resistance forces, creating a hellish battlefield of fire. The alien race's army remained at full strength, holding an overwhelming advantage. Hyeok, his face filled with rage, suddenly charged. "You bastard, I'll kill you!" But Kabuna stopped him, the commander calm despite his severed arm. "Hyeok, I'm fine. Stopping him with humanity's power is nearly impossible. Our only remaining choice is to use that method." The last hope humanity discovered after a 25-year war was the Time-Space Regression Stone. Its wielder could return to the past just once. Kabuna then made his decision. If only one person can go, it must be you, Hyeok. The other comrades immediately agreed. The fate of 8 billion people is in your hands. Hyeok accepted the immense responsibility with grim determination. "All right. In the next life, I hope we can all meet again with smiles." After he departed, his comrades could finally breathe a sigh of relief. They steeled their spirits for one last mission, to fight the alien ruler. There was still a long road ahead. Kabuna led the charge, shouting one last time, "Let's fight!" After 3 hopeful heartbeats, nothing happened. He tried to reassure himself. Maybe there's a 10-second margin of error, and then night fell, and Hyeok began to panic. Right, I must have miscalculated the day. I'll come back tomorrow. His tomorrow became a week, still with no activity. Soon a month passed, which then stretched to half a year. Still, no outbreak occurred. The world remained surprisingly peaceful. The savior of mankind, Hyeok, after a period of agonizing waiting, became a day laborer 3 months later. He was reminding himself to enjoy this peace for a while when he was suddenly flooded with debt notices. Numerous overdue loans from credit banks. Relatives who had lent him money also needed to be repaid. A while later, at Hyeok's home, his younger sister, Chi-an, was relentlessly questioning him. "What on earth have you been doing? You're unemployed. So where do you go all day? Don't tell me you joined a pyramid scheme. A year ago, you just suddenly left home, saying the world was about to end. Do you know how worried Mom was?" It was then that Hyeok realized, I didn't know this world wasn't going to end. This was the plan of Hyeok and the resistance. Kabuna laid out the first tactic: borrow money from anywhere possible, even from loan sharks. Borrow everything you can to prepare for the outbreak. He figured it didn't matter what happened after that. Once the outbreak began, no one would be in their right mind to collect debts. But the world's peace made Hyeok start to worry. I can't just ignore the money I borrowed. Seeing his troubled state, Chi-an gently made an offer. I know you're doing part-time jobs these days, to pay off that pyramid scheme stuff. Instead, why don't you help me with my online broadcast? I'll pay you a salary. I need to win this two-player game. I need your help. Hyeok was confused, having never done that before. Cheon patiently persuaded him. You've always been athletic. You'll adapt quickly. Hyeok could only blurt out, all right. But how much can an online broadcast even make? Cheon's answer, 15 million, left Hyeok completely stunned. What? Understanding her brother's shock, she laid out the proof right there. His income after just a few months of streaming had hit 15 million won per month. I'll give you half my salary. And just like that, Hyeok, the so-called savior of humanity, agreed to become his sister's slave, Lee Jian. For a moment, she was thrilled, then immediately gave the command. All right, let's begin. Total annihilation for 2. A world where you faced enemies by farming on an insane difficulty. It was an ultra-hardcore, horror-adventure combat game. Known as the Newbie Graveyard, the player had entered and the game began. The deeper they went, the more nervous Jian became. Hyeok, stay close to me, okay? Her fear only made the viewers more excited, flooding the chat. They're really making that abandoned house look terrifying. If I had to do a courage challenge there, I'd probably start crying. As Hyeok scanned his surroundings, he silently made an assessment. Is this place supposed to be scary? It looks like the perfect spot for a good nap. But Jian kept nagging him. Hyeok, can you slow down? To calm her, he replied softly, okay, stick close to me. Even the viewers watching expressed their concern in the comments. But is it really okay to just walk in like that? At that moment, Hyeok's foot landed on the first step. A system window popped up with a notification. After receiving a letter from your missing ex-wife, you and your current wife arrive at the abandoned house where she vanished. Behind him, Jian suddenly grabbed him and screamed, something just jumped out. Hyeok instinctively called out, what is this? And quickly got an answer. A transportation guide. Realizing Hyeok just dismissed a lifeline, Jian yelled, hey, are you crazy? This game's hard enough. Why skip the tutorial? Hyeok could only reply, looking bewildered. Sorry, it was in the way, so I just clicked without thinking. Jian, though disappointed, tried to console herself. Whatever, it's my fault for trusting a total newbie. She turned to the viewers and pleaded, anyway, everyone, please give me some tips. I haven't even looked at a single guide. Some kind souls offered advice. First, hunt for a weapon. You need to search for clues around you. The key item is a stun grenade. Most weapons aren't effective against the boss, so just run for your life. Seeing Jian's excitement, she repeated, okay, stun grenade, run from the boss. Then, other viewers gave more crucial advice. The most important thing is the difficulty setting. Whatever you do, don't pick reality mode. But the status window suddenly announced the selected mode was reality, causing an uproar among the viewers. Jian couldn't hold back anymore and started screaming. Hyeok, you idiot. What did you do this time? Why is this happening to me? He just stood there taking the heat while quickly explaining, no, I just touched the doorknob to see if it would open, then something weird popped up. But their antics just made the viewers roar with laughter. These two are like a comedy act, failing right from the start like a puppy. What was even more telling was Jian's regretful reaction. The betting pool on clearing this first run is over 1 million won. At that exact moment, 2 pieces of good news appeared. A player has requested a 1 million won mission, clear reality mode in 3 tries. Time remaining, 47 minutes and 59 seconds. Another user requested a 500,000 won mission to clear reality mode, and enjoy unlimited attempts. Time remaining, 47 minutes and 59 seconds. Jian couldn't contain her joy and shouted, the Supreme Being has spoken. Hyeok seemed to gain a second wind, declaring confidently, yes, Master. Despair is a luxury we can't afford. Sarcastic comments kept flooding in. The 2 siblings, slaves to capitalism. Despair can be cured with money. Look at that serious face. Near the main door, a horrifying creature appeared with a blood-curdling scream, sending a wave of excitement through the chat. The best screaming house ever. Check behind the corpse. There should be a hand axe and a pistol there. Jian urged him on while hiding behind him. Hyeok, you do it. But he surprised her by handing her a weapon, causing Jian to shout in confusion. Hyeok, I'm not good with guns, he immediately asked back, cluelessly. Really? Are you more confident with a hand axe? You'll have to stab it directly. But Jian shyly explained. No, it's my dream to become a gunslinger. But she quickly came face to face with a giant monster. The viewers who saw it were stunned. There he is, the newbie shredder, Hugo. But Hyeok's next attack left the chat in absolute awe. What the heck was that? He blocked Hugo's attack with just one hand. Hyeok then quickly advanced on the monster. Even the creature seemed a little surprised. His strength sent shockwaves of disbelief through the viewers. Look at that, insane. He took it down in a single blow. Look over there, turn back. Another Hyeok spawned. 3 more are charging in. But Hyeok remained calm, determined to defeat them. 3 Hyugos rushed him all at once. But once again, he tore them apart. The viewers were now in a state of utter confusion, unable to explain what they were seeing. I have no idea what just happened. Our big bro is safe. After dealing with them, Hyeok didn't forget to check on his teammate, Jian. You must have been terrified, right? But she unexpectedly pulled the trigger, causing the status window to abruptly announce, "Mission failed. Player Hyeok has died." Jian rushed toward him, shouting, "I'm sorry, it's my fault." The viewers were all crying with laughter. What did I just witness? This is legendary comedy. At that moment, in a luxury apartment, a disappointed voice could be heard. There's no way he took down a Hyeok that easily. Even in reality mode, 2 Hyugos at once is my absolute limit. This was the voice of Black Ops, a streamer specializing in horror games. The more he watched, the more he couldn't believe his eyes. He beat 4 of them with just a hand axe? Wait, what was this guy's name again? As the game loaded, the comment section erupted with mockery. This is a total train wreck. I'm dying laughing. Next to Hyeok, Cheon was still incredibly guilty. Hyeok, I'm sorry, it was a real mistake. But he responded with a gentle voice. Don't worry, Cheon, that was my fault. But his tone suddenly became harsh. I shouldn't have handed a gun to an idiot like you, she stammered. I said I was sorry. I'll do better next time. Hyeok's voice dropped. There is no next time for you. Just follow my lead. We're moving quickly this time. Cheon pouted at his words. Fine. Let's see how you do without me, Hyeok. Instantly, he dove into combat, wiping out the monsters in a flash. The viewers erupted in a storm of praise. He's even faster by himself. She's such a liability. Hyeok glanced back at Cheon, full of pride. See, I can handle things alone. All right, let's assign roles for the next phase. Cheon's eyes widened in shock. Roles? Understanding her confusion, he began to explain. I'll take care of guns, melee, looting, and scouting. Cheon asked blankly, so what do I do? Hyeok couldn't help but snap at her. Just be quiet and cheer for me. Can you do that? A wave of disappointment hit Cheon as she shot back. Damn it. This is my game. How come I only get to cheer? But Hyeok was unfazed. Okay, let's go. The viewers couldn't help but laugh. Look at him, completely ignoring her. Forced into the party. The moment Hyeok opened the door, the chat flooded with comments. All right, cheerleader, get ready. It's showtime. A massive monster named Jute appeared right after. The mid-boss of Duo Annihilation. Trailing behind Hyeok, Cheon screamed in terror. It's here. Panicking, she shoved him toward the beast. He roared in frustration. Hey, you moron. Cheon's move had the viewers cracking up. Another team kill. I'm losing it. Hyeok swiftly dodged Jute's first strike. He followed with a devastating kick, roaring with confidence. Get down! After toppling Jute, Hyeok raised his axe, thinking to himself, compared to the world I survived, a monster like this is absolutely nothing. His move left the audience baffled. Why is he treating Jute like it's a piece of cake? But Jute's shins are too thick. You can't pierce its muscles with a simple hand axe. That's why most newcomers have no other option than to run. But Hyeok remained utterly resolute. If it's not working, I'll make it work. His actions forced everyone to see him differently, in a new light. A rookie just defeated Jute? One user happily donated 1,001, asking a question. Did he actually kill it? Cheon stared in disbelief, screaming, I have no idea. Hyeok just looked back, confused. Why not? It was easy. The chat was now exploding with comments. Usually, only veterans can kill it after unloading all their firepower and spilling blood in a hopeless battle. You're not a rookie, are you? Cheon quickly provided the answer. No, he is new. This prompted the viewers to issue a new challenge. If you're that confident, then open your status window for us to see. To please the crowd, Cheon eagerly agreed. Alright, fine. Show them your status window. Hyeok's stats appeared. The window showed 2 kills and 6.6 hours of playtime, but what really caught their attention was Hyeok's main stat. It was -134. Knowledgeable players immediately started commenting. When a player starts, even the pros, are only around 125. 140 is considered the human limit. What's the world record? 147. Everyone, check out the detailed stats. His stats were all in the top 0.01%. Is this guy a machine? Internally, Hyeok felt a sense of satisfaction. So, all that training for the apocalypse has finally paid off. Meanwhile, Cheon couldn't stop wondering, just how much did they push him in that multi-level system? How can a human body even reach this level? She then cautiously asked Hyeok, did you eat well there? I promise I'll treat you better now. A viewer donated 10,000 won with a message. That's impressive. The moment Cheon saw the name, she gasped in shock. Blackout? Is that really him? At the same time, another comment popped up. The first player to unlock the hidden route in Duo Annihilation is here. Hyeok asked in astonishment. A hidden route? The viewer kindly explained. Jute is normally designed to capture players and advance the plot, but Blackout was the first to actually kill one, unlocking it. It took him 7 tries with every available weapon, though. That's just brutal. This new info piqued his interest in what was to come. 7 tries. I guess not everyone is a pro gamer. I mean, that can happen if you're not good at the game, right? But 2 new comments popped up. Blackout is officially trash at this game. Only a brat like Hyeok would say something like that. Blackout felt that sting deeply. Not good at games, huh? Still, for someone who's never played, or even tried full dive VR before, beating a Jute with just an axe? I plan to watch for a bit then log off. But this might just be content. Blackout donated $1,000 won with a message. If you don't mind, could I give you a mission? Cheon's curiosity was piqued. A mission? What kind of mission is it? The answer appeared instantly. Blackout had issued a 1 million won mission. Clear the game using only a hand axe. No other weapons allowed. Time remaining. 47 minutes, 50 seconds. In exchange, I'll legally stream this. This made Cheon erupt with pure joy, shouting, 1 million won. The chat immediately exploded with comments. But clear the whole game with just a hand axe? Forget Jute. What about the final boss? Don't you think that's a bit unreasonable? The game doesn't just have humanoid enemies, you know, and other monsters with just that tiny hand axe? You might as well tell me to give up now. Blackout continued his taunts in the chat. Is the hand axe too much? Then how about a crowbar or a chainsaw? But then, a system notification appeared. Mission successful. Blackout has donated 1 million won, making Hyeok shout in confusion. Wrong button, Jian asked frantically from behind. What are you doing? He answered with the honest truth. I meant to accept the axe mission, but I accidentally hit success. Now that this has happened, I'll complete it no matter what. Please stop this sudden madness. Your enemy is Zonda, the second mid-boss. It tears players apart with terrifying speed. Even Blackout was stunned by Hyeok's move. Its chainsaw arm could kill a player with a single graze. It deals an insane amount of damage with complex attacks. Normally, suppressive fire from another player would stun it. You draw its aggro, while the rest of the party targets its weak spots. This attack and aggro switching cycle is the official strategy for Zonde. That's why you need at least a 2-person party. After donating 10,000 won, Blackout asked again, so what? The monster was taking a critical hit. Hyeok scoffed as he fought. An official strategy? Who needs it? If you have no weapon, you bite them. If there's no way, you forge one. And among all the hunters, I am the best at slaying monsters. An official strategy based on just 5 years of full dive VR history? Compared to my own tactics, honed over 25 human wars, it's a child's playbook. The enemy's attack is fast, just destroy their source of movement. Once you rob them of balance and speed, the killing blow is to the neck. Hyeok's axe head sank deep into the monster's flesh. He pushed with all his might, trying to drive the blade even deeper. The battle left viewers speechless. What? The axe is blocked, the monster roared, still brimming with power. The saw on its arm crept closer to Hyeok, but his swift reaction left everyone stunned. He's insane. He dodged a boss monster's attack. The blades clashed, but it's useless if you can't pierce its defense. Its guard suddenly skyrocketed. As it sensed the danger, Hyeok roared with determination. If it reinforces its defense, then a stronger attack will shatter it. The next skill he used was Focused Strike, followed by a Fatal Strike. A massive explosion erupted, sending Hyeok flying. It even made him admit, that move was pretty tough. Jian, overjoyed, exclaimed, Brother, we did it. He won. The viewers couldn't believe their eyes. What the heck? He beat it in one shot and called it tough? Another viewer donated 10,000 won with a question. How did you do that? Hyeok was quick to answer. That thing from before? It's simpler than you think. Analyze its footing and muscle movements, then aim for its planted leg when it attacks. I neutralized its speed. And before it struck, I read the muscle movements in its shoulder, plus the tension in its arm. You can predict the timing and direction of the attack, then just dodge like I did, and land a heavy blow to the throat. But the viewers took this chance to make requests. Insane. Look at those moves, Teacher Hyeok. Only a god could do that. Seeing him ask so casually, this is easy, huh? A viewer confidently claimed. If you can do that, you could probably dodge bullets too. Unexpectedly, Hyeok made a bold declaration. That's even simpler. Bullets fly in a straight line, so you can dodge by watching the barrel or just block it with an axe. This caused everyone to cheer him on. He's for real. No, even if you explain it, only you can pull that off. Just then, Jian suddenly announced, "Brother, there's a way down here." Hyuk's face lit up as he replied, "Really? Wait a second." Seeing the viewers still asking questions, is it finally time for the shockwave? Hyuk just laughed brightly. In any case, there's no time to waste, so I'll explain as we go. Jian then announced another surprising discovery. Wait, brother, there's something else here. Hearing this, the viewers asked excitedly, "That's right, beating the boss drops a submachine gun and a hand axe, doesn't it?" Hyuk was busy showing off his new axe. "I used to slay countless monsters with these." Then, Jian suddenly screamed, "Brother, behind you." An enhanced zombie. One of them lunged forward, grabbing Hyuk's axe, but was immediately cut down with a single slash. The viewers were completely confused. Was that enhanced zombie made of tofu or something? How did he slice it in one hit? Teacher Hyuk explained while he fought. "It's not as hard as you think. I've already shown you how, right? Just dodge like this. Focus all of your power, and strike the weak point of a humanoid form, right at the neck like this." Viewers spammed the chat after seeing that move. He just pulled a Bob Ross. But seriously, Teacher Hyuk, what is this difficulty level? There are usually only about 10 of them, but why is there a whole horde this time? Even Teacher Hyuk might struggle now. He read through the comments and formed a new strategy. Then I guess I should put in a little more effort. Huh? Hyuk unleashed his full power on the enemy's weak points, leaving the viewers in total awe. Isn't that the whirlwind skill? Go for the spin, whirlwind. The entire front line has been wiped out. Bow down before Master Hyuk. Aren't you dizzy from all that spinning? I mean, stop messing around in an action game. Let's try Rise of Valhalla. The name piqued Hyeok's interest. Another game? Cheon was also surprised by the news. "Brother, look, I found a clue about a serum for this monster plague." Seeing Hyeok's confusion, he asked, "A clue?" She nodded to confirm. "Yes, it's stained and hard to read. But this notebook says all the mutations, even the zombies, come from one strain. Remember the trailer near the house we saw? They said the serum for this strain is in there. We just have to retrieve it and spread it through the system, the mansion sprinkler system. Once they're exposed to the serum, the monsters will weaken." At the same time, the viewers quickly confirmed, "That's right. Without the serum from the next boss, the difficulty will skyrocket. It'll be insanely hard without it." This information made Hyeok's eyes widen in shock. "Really? That doesn't sound too difficult. Why don't we give it a shot?" Cheon, however, seemed to hesitate. "No, wait. What if we fail?" But Hyeok's response was firm. "Either way, going there is a pain." Just then, a strange notification popped up. Blackout had issued a quest worth 100,000 won with the condition to defeat the next boss without using the serum. The remaining time was 47 minutes and 59 seconds. While Hyeok and Cheon were getting excited. If that's what Blackout wants. A true intellectual. The audience erupted in laughter. There they go again, the capitalist slave siblings. They get serious the second money's involved. After a moment of observation, Chi-an noticed the precarious situation. The floor is cracking. Hyeok, however, made a confident assessment. "It seems we have to go down there. Let's go, hop on my back." But Chi-an urgently screamed, "Wait!" She grabbed Hyeok's shoulders tightly and continued, "What is that smell?" The viewers had already made their prediction. "We've arrived at the sewer labyrinth." He scanned the area, quietly calculating. "This brings back memories. Back then, I practically lived in the sewers to escape the alien monsters." Meanwhile, Cheon looked pale with fear. "Look, a sewer rat." But Hyeok had a surprisingly optimistic thought. Sewer rat. It would make a delicious soup. The broth would be incredible. Chi-an glanced around and continued to scream, "A giant rat!" But Hyeok, in contrast, felt a thrill of excitement. Remembering the taste of giant rat meat, he unleashed a deadly skill and chuckled. "I get the tastiest rat leg. Enjoy the meal." Seeing Hyeok's actions, Chi-an recoiled in horror. "You psycho, why are you eating that?" After savoring the delicious food, he had a look of pure excitement when another monster suddenly appeared. Called a Trow, it was a final boss monster with tentacle-like arms and powerful regenerative abilities. The viewers flooded the comments. "What the hell? It's appearing here. Before the boss room? Did someone mess up the difficulty setting? Is this some kind of trashy, bugged game?" Meanwhile, Cheon frantically urged, "What? There are 2 of them? Run!" But Hyeok was still preoccupied with his perfect meal. "My rat meat. I was looking forward to the feeling of eating garbage food, just once in my life. You bastards, How dare you steal my rat meat? Unforgivable. His attitude bewildered the viewers. Are you seriously getting mad just because you didn't get to eat rat meat? Were you a member of the Mido Special Forces? Or something? Maybe Teacher Hyeok really is like that. Meanwhile, Cheon looked at the beast and shook her head, helpless. This is ridiculous. From the beginning, it's just been one strange, illogical thing after another. Even Blackout found it hard to understand. In reality mode, the initial difficulty is determined by the player's stats. Hyeok's stats have already surpassed the ITK's ranking limit. He donated 1001 with a comment. I assume that's the reason all this keeps happening. Other players were also extremely worried. But throwing 2 Treos at them is a bit too much, isn't it? But Hyeok replied calmly. I'm fine. Now, the fight is getting interesting. This started to worry the viewers. OC's mentality is insane, but it's too soon to let his guard down. A Tro's regeneration is terrifying. That much damage healed in an instant, and as soon as it was attacked, it reacted, starting to spew poisonous gas. Qian then announced in a panic, We're poisoned. We only have 10 minutes. The viewers continued to drop comments, facing a Tro with insane regeneration while also being poisoned. This is truly a horrifying scene. That's why the battle with a Tro is called Hell Difficulty. Even so, Hyeok had already figured out his strategy. If it keeps regenerating, then we'll just keep smashing it until it can't regenerate anymore. The Tro was battered by his attacks, its body covered in wounds, but Qian, fighting the other one, felt helpless. I severed its neck, but it's still alive. The viewers didn't hesitate to explain it to her. A Tro has infinite regeneration unless you destroy its heart. This gave Hyeok a quiet realization. The heart? So the heart is its core? The Tro was charging aggressively, but he decisively struck its weak point. One of Hyeok's axes came down, tearing open the monster's chest and leaving it to cry out in agony on the ground. He looked towards it and made a powerful declaration. If the heart is its weak point, I'll tear it out and crush it myself. Another Tro was lunging from the air. It didn't realize it was about to attack its own comrade. Amidst Cheon's shocked gasp and desperate scream, Brother! The viewers were all left completely baffled. What was that? What am I seeing right now? He baited its attack to destroy the other one's heart. That's insane. Was that his plan from the start? The Tro that had been used looked on in pure rage. Hyeok continued to strike the monster with sharp and decisive actions, causing the Tro's chest to be ripped open again, letting him claim a glorious victory as he stood over its body. Comments from the viewers continued to appear. This is insane. How is that even possible? Mom, when I grow up, I want to be a dual-axe warrior. Scream louder. Hyeok, scream. Even Qian couldn't hold back her excitement and shouted, Awesome. She then seized the moment to rally the viewers. Everyone, after witnessing a battle that legendary, don't you think he deserves a little something in return? Her words immediately resonated with the audience. That's right. The donations started pouring in. Donation mode activated. A user sent 10,001 with a message, Master, that was absolutely crazy. How did you do that? Another user dropped 100 USD, while another shelled out 50,001 with a playful taunt. Are you serious? After seeing the huge windfall, Qian didn't forget to show her gratitude. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll use this donation money to buy meat for my brother and me. Meanwhile, Hyeok was just filled with curiosity. Is all of this money? How much did we make today? His sister then pressed him. Hey, what do you want to do now? Keep playing? This pushed Hyeok to make a quick decision. We've been playing for 8 hours straight. Let's stop here for today. This announcement left the viewers feeling a wave of disappointment. Only 8 hours? You should play for at least 18. Are you abandoning us? So cruel. To soothe their disappointment, Hyeok offered a gentle explanation. I'm starting to lose my focus, and since this is my first time in virtual reality, I'm feeling a little dizzy, and with that, the two siblings said their goodbyes. Alright, I understand. We'll be back next time to finish the job. So, for now, farewell. At that same moment, a different set of comments began to appear. Boss, we're going in. Wait, why are they leaving when we told them to stay? But seriously, did we just witness history in the making? No, it's more than that. I think we just saw the beginning of a new legend. Blackout nodded in agreement as he read through the comments. I agree. He's right. Who in the world is this person? If his skills and kills it are this insane, what would he be like in other games? If he played another game, it would be a guaranteed hit. No, an absolute blockbuster. We can't waste any more time. That person. They're trying to pull him to their side. After arriving home, Li Qian couldn't contain her excitement. Appa, that was amazing. How did you do that? You looked like you've been wielding dual axes your entire life. Just like this. And this, she muttered, swinging a frying pan around. Not wanting to get hit, Hyeok yelled, "Sis, stop that." Then he twisted the knife about her being single. At his words, her eyes welled up with tears, and she raised the pan to strike. "You jerk! What was that? I have plenty of connections. I'm actually pretty popular." Unfazed, "Hi." Okay continued to mock her. "Sure, you are. Next you'll tell me you're not single for life, and your imaginary relationships don't count." But Chian stopped joking and got serious. "Anyway, for real, how did you do it? You looked like a monster on steroids." Hyeok hadn't done anything special. He just acted, and it simply worked. Chi-an had to admit he was just a natural talent. Ever since he was a kid, Hyeok was incredibly strong. If it wasn't for that fortune teller's prediction, this boy has the face of one destined to save the world. Their parents were so shocked they nearly fainted. This child? Chi-an's parents believed that nonsense without a single doubt, and so they ignored the desperate pleas, the pleas of his gym teacher. He even went to their house to persuade them. "Ma'am, Leto Hyeok's brain is just for decoration. He was born to be an athlete." Before he could finish, her father dragged him out of the house while her mother screamed, "Silence! How dare you obstruct the path of a future UN Secretary General?" If they had listened to that teacher, he could have won an Olympic medal or two by now. Our parents regret it every single day. Now Hyeok is just a talentless fool. Chian sighed, letting the past go. "Anyway, Appa, since you've started this, why not try streaming for real?" The main character pointed to himself. "Streaming? Me?" Chian held up her phone to explain. "You saw the viewers' reactions today, right? If you just play without saying a word, you'll still gain massive popularity." Hyeok seemed convinced. Thinking back on it, it really has been a long time. Before I returned to the past, I fought for my life for more than 15 years. If I didn't kill the alien creatures before me, I would have been the one to die. And after all of that, now all I do is work and haul bricks at a construction site. My life has become so boring I could die from the monotony. That fight in the virtual reality game was the most excitement I've felt in a very long time. It's not that I miss those days, but still, it was genuinely fun. Hyeok clenched his fist as excitement surged through him. Hearing this, Chian's eyes lit up. "So, does that mean you'll do it?" Hyeok quickly dampened his sister's enthusiasm. "I still have debts to pay. Let me think about it a little more." Chian's face soured as she tried to snap him back to reality. "God, you're so dense. That's exactly why you should stream more. For the quest rewards, from the quest blackout set for the last round, you earned over 3 million won today alone." At the mention of money, Hyeok was stunned. 3 million? In a single day, I could pay off all my debt in a flash. Seeing that her brother was hooked, she pushed him. "So you'll do it, right? But do you have enough money for a capsule?" Hyeok presented her with a plate of fruit like an offering. "Well, I was counting on my amazing sister's fabulous credit card." Flattered beyond belief by her brother, Chian puffed up with pride. "Fine. You know what, Appa? I'll buy you a new capsule myself." Hyeok clapped with joy, cheering endlessly. "You're the best. Perfect. Brilliant, Chian." His sister shamelessly joined in on the praise. "That's right. Keep it coming." Just then, a notification popped up on Chian's phone. Her reaction was explosive. "Hey Appa, look at this." Hyeok was equally bewildered. "What? What is it? Are the virtual reality capsules sold out?" Chian showed her brother the message. "No, it's not that. Blackout sent you a direct message." Hearing the name, Hyeok realized something. Isn't he the one who found the hidden path in ItQ Studio? That's right, he's that super famous game streamer. You want me to collab with him? Are you insane? Chian's idea shocked Hyeok to his core. A collab? You're crazy. Never. Chian's temper flared. What? Why not? Do you have any idea how famous he is? Just one collaboration, and your viewer count would explode. Hyeok trembled, tears of frustration in his eyes. Shut up. Just because I own a capsule? I respect his identity, but I like women. You're so obsessed with views that you'd sacrifice my purity. Hyeok's mind had clearly gone off the deep end. Chian's anger boiled over. Hey, Appa, should I just kill him? Cursing under his breath, the main character cried like a maiden. The next day, the new capsule setup was finally complete. Hyeok greeted the morning with a bruised, swollen face, a clear gift from his sister for his twisted thinking. She should have explained it better. I guess I misunderstood collaboration. Well, I've decided to play now, so let's get serious. Hyeok tested the new machine, a premium capsule bought on Chian's card with a 12-month payment plan, and essential for future streams. With added features, the price soared to 20 million won. He smiled. Yeah, we fought as kids, but she's always had a warm heart. Chian, don't worry, I'll make a fortune with this, pay it all off, and buy you everything. Then, he began searching for a game. Inside the virtual world, Hyeok thought, okay, let's try game mode instead of reality mode. If I pick a game with near superhuman stats, I can finally satisfy that craving It Takes Two could never fix. After some browsing, Hyeok found his target. But anything that looked good was at least $200. Since he was completely broke, he had to pick the cheapest. Suddenly, a game caught his eye. What's this? That fighting game I used to play as a kid? No way. Ultimate Fighter FD? A full dive version of it? That nostalgic, god-tier fighting game. Ultimate Fighter. And it's only $20? An instant buy, no hesitation. System. Purchase of Ultimate Fighter FD complete. Connecting to the game lobby. Please select a nickname. Hyeok was thrilled. If my old Ultimate Fighter handle is still available, I'll use So What. The system responded instantly. Nickname has been set to So What. He slammed a fist into the virtual floor to test his body. Brutal fist, chain kick, wolf fang. After running through the motions, Hyeok's eyes gleamed. So, this is my max potential in game mode? Not quite superhuman like before, but I can tell. I've definitely shattered normal human limits. This must be the cap for what an average person's body can handle, right? Any faster, and perception couldn't keep up. Alright, warm-up's done. Time for a real fight. Searching for a ranked match. A system notification appeared. So what does not meet the level requirement for ranked matches? Hyeok suddenly remembered that rule. Guess there's no other choice. Find an open room instead. The system complied instantly. Searching for open rooms in Ultimate Fighter FD. Searching. As he waited, Hyeok had an idea. Should I pick a character to play? Elsewhere, another player was deep in Ultimate Fighter, their live commentary echoing with excitement. Let's go. The Sword Princess scores another victory today. System, Hajiang wins. She struck a cool pose for her viewers. Quest complete. Instantly, 50,000 won flowed into Hajiang's account. Today's quests are all really generous. This was the swordswoman Hajiang, a streamer with a steady 2,000 average viewers, who had been broadcasting for about a year. A comment appeared in chat. But who is this woman? How is she so good at Ultimate Fighter? A 1,001 donation followed. Are you new to Ultimate Fighter? How can you not know the Sword Princess? This game used to be huge. It even had a world championship. Back in its prime, she was a top-tier player in Ultimate Fighter, known by the nickname Sword Princesses. In a fighting game world ruled by men, she was a true standout. Hearing these words, Hajiang couldn't help but stop the flood of praise. Fanboy Appa, that's enough. Stop, it's been ages since I played Ultimate Fighter, professionally. So of course not everyone knows me. Besides, these days people think of Iron Fist, not Ultimate Fighter, and that's why most UF players have moved on. Anyway, since I'm logged in, let's find the next match. System, find a room with a player at my level. The system began searching for a ranked match that fit Hajiang's criteria. A match was found. Estimated time, 9 minutes. Her jaw dropped in shock. 9 minutes? That's forever. What about the next match then? Estimated wait time, 12 minutes. Hajiang held her head. This is going to kill the stream's flow. A donor suggested, why not take on a public match quest? For old time's sake. Her spirits lifted. That's a good idea. The wait time is awful anyway. The user sent a quest for 100,000. 1. Win 5 public matches in a row. Time limit, 11 minutes, 59 seconds. Hajiang pleaded. 5 straight wins? That's too hard, give me a break. The viewers chattered among themselves. Since Ultimate Fighter died, only veteran players are left. The public rooms are a battlefield now, filled with nothing but experienced players, right? It's where the high-level players go to destroy all the newbies. This is exactly why public matches became a playground for veteran hunters. Even the Sword Princess was annihilated by a pro last time, but that was Batago. The insult made Harang's pride flare up. That's because I didn't use my main. But Batago used his main. Alright, time to use my Smurf account. Harang then became Adventurer Rara. She was fired up this time. With my Smurf, I'll show everyone a real newbie slaughter. Harang shouted with fighting spirit. She made a public room titled Anti-Fire Showdown, for absolute beginners only. The viewers were just as excited. The veteran monsters were gathering. Is this the beginning of a newbie massacre? The system announced the room was created. A volcanic scene appeared. This map is Anti-Fire Classic, the Volcano Arena. The first to appear was Night Warrior Hoken, a man with hands ablaze in dark fire. Judging by his stance, He's probably platinum rank. Hwarang sized up her opponent. Hyeok, a character with easy combos and a few cheap but effective moves. He's not hard to control, and the character is strong. He's always in the top 3 most popular characters in Anti-Fire. Hyeok attacked, leaping from his position, aiming his fiery hand at his opponent. His specialty is utilizing a fighter's signature rush. Dark Fire Strike. Hyeok slammed his fist down, but Hwarang jumped away. At close range, the fighter has the upper hand. The basic strategy for a mage against a fighter is to first create distance, then use ranged spells. Hwarang pulled out her staff and attacked Hyeok. He couldn't defend, only raising his arms to block the light. Hwarang seized the opportunity, rushing forward with her staff. She threw the staff toward Hyeok. He took the hit, blood spraying from his nose. Hey, what the hell? Is that even magic? That was just throwing a staff. Hwarang wasn't finished. She flash-stepped and grabbed Hyeok's muscular arm. This was the ultimate technique of all magic. Physical therapy magic. Hwarang slammed the huge man. The viewers exploded. There it is, the body slam. She even perfectly copied Hyeok's wrestling move. She retrieved her staff. Actually, physical therapy magic is just a setup for the real spell. It takes a little time to activate. Everyone got excited. It's coming. Sorcerer Rara's ultimate skill, Summon Meteor. Hwarang laughed loudly. Hyeok was scared to death. Oh god, this is too much. Hyeok quit and ran, giving the viewers a good laugh. So overpowered. Hwarang waved Hyeok off. Goodbye, platinum rank. In your next game life, I hope you're reborn as a pro. Before Hyeok disappeared from the game, he cursed, "Damn you, Anti-Fire veterans. I hope this game dies soon." The viewers laughed their heads off. Smashing platinum tier newbies never gets old. Thank you, dear Hyeok, for your generous praise. A system notification appeared. Sword Saintess wins. Restoring arena. Hwarang sighed in relief. Luckily, this opponent wasn't too hard. Anyway, let's continue and finish the quest. Just a 5-win streak. System. Summon the next opponent. The system continued searching for a player, now summoning the next opponent. Meta Steve. The main character appeared. The viewers were surprised by the character's name. Steve? Isn't that a character for newbies? Yes. And their information is set to private, right? It seems so. There's nothing on the character's history. Suddenly, Hyeok started hopping on the ground. Everyone was confused. What is he doing? No way. Is he warming up? Look, he's even tapping the arena floor. What a weirdo. Hwarang was also speechless at Hyeok's actions. What's wrong with this guy? The way he moves looks like a total newbie. Hwarang was getting bored. This is too much. Are we really going to fight a newbie? Are you really going to fight him? Protect the newbie, stop the bullying. Hwarang couldn't help but smile smugly. I want to protect the newbie too, but I still have to complete my mission. Still, I didn't expect a real newbie to show up. A viewer retorted, then wipe that smirk off your face. You're the one who wrote, "For absolute beginners," only in the lobby title. It's your fault. Anyway, let the match begin. Ready. Hwarang was full of energy. Go easy on me, newbie. I'm about to cry. It's been a long time since I've seen a complete beginner. This newbie might just quit the game. A newbie's life was forfeit as soon as the countdown hit 1. Hyeok dashed forward, aiming for Hwarang. Everyone watching laughed. There it is, the classic newbie rush. She quickly dodged to the side with a taunt. You think that would work on me? I even dodged Hyeok's charge. So, a newbie's rush is nothing to me. Ah, I celebrated too soon. Hyeok planted his hand on the ground. With his other hand in a fist, the main character gently gave Hwarang a love tap on the cheek. She had no time to dodge. Wait, right after that was a barrage of punches from Hyeok's position. Hwarang took every hit, spitting blood from her mouth. Hyeok ended it perfectly. The viewers were shocked. Perfect? Did a real newbie just take down a veteran? He praised himself. That was a solid hit. He just said it felt pretty good. What the hell did we just witness? Immediately after, round 2 began. Hwarang was summoned back. The viewers were ecstatic. A perfect loss. And to a newbie at that? That's the biggest disgrace in Anti-Fire. Humiliated, Hwarang shouted. Wait, let's play again. One more match. Trying to calm the viewers. No, everyone. Wait. This isn't right. Really. You all know I only lost because I was careless, right? The viewers immediately shut her down. Careless defense? Remember what you said when you beat your old opponent? I swear you said being careless is also a part of one's skill level. A self-inflicted humiliation. Hwarang was fuming. No, but seriously, how can he be a newbie? He's clearly a smurf. You all thought he was a newbie too. Anyway, this time I'll be the one to get the perfect win. She once again transformed into swordswoman Hwarang. That's the character that crowned her the sword princess in her pro days. A donor just added fuel to the fire. A perfect loss and she instantly switches to Hyeok? Now that's impressive. Truly impressive. I have to agree. Impressive is an understatement. Hyeok ground her teeth, fuming at the comments. No, if I get serious, I'll crush everyone. I'm really getting angry now. So pray for his soul for me, because from now on, I'm going all out. Hyeok began to size up Hyeok. One look was all it took. He hadn't reached the highest rank, Transcendent. At best, he was somewhere between top-tier Diamond and low-tier Grandmaster. The highest rank in Anti-Met Fighter is Transcendent, followed by Grandmaster, Diamond, Platinum, Gold, Silver, Bronze, Iron, and Novice. Only 100 players, including herself, had ever reached Transcendent. His fighting style wasn't typical for Anti-Met Fighter. He's probably a pro from another game trying his hand at this one. Well then, let me show him what true control looks like. This time, Hyeok lunged first, unleashing a furious combo of slashes. Hyeok dodged, retaliating with his signature punch. Hyeok was ready. I won't go down so easily this time, but he caught her sword arm, while his other fist shot towards her face. She panicked. Wait! But once again, Hyeok was about to get wrecked. A familiar scene unfolded as she was beaten senseless, screaming, "I'm gonna die." The viewers erupted in laughter. Damn, this scene looks so familiar. She got perfectly defeated again, just like last time. You call this a pro? She should be called the Sword Kid, not the Sword Princess now. Hyeok couldn't accept it. No, one more. Let's go again. But the third match also went to Stiver's character. Hyeok lay defeated on the ground, whining, "Take it easy on me." Hyeok just cracked his knuckles and turned away. A clean 5-win streak. The staff-wielding character was easy at first, but she drew a sword near the end, using some strange skills. That made it a bit tricky. I wanted to test out my superpowers, so I logged in through a special game mode, but out of habit, I skipped the tutorial, so I had no clue how to use them. To be sure, I even tried to use my old magic control instincts, but nothing worked. Even though I chose this mode to remember my old strength, next time I'd better do the tutorial first. Just then, Hyeok's avatar suddenly reappeared. Hyeok was pleased. "Oh, you're back? That was a pretty good game. What's your rank?" Hyeok just pointed a finger straight at him. She was yelling, but he couldn't hear a single word. "What are you saying?" "What? I can't hear you at all." After a moment, Hyeok finally realized. Did they enable the in-game mute function to fully concentrate? If so, they can't hear anything I'm saying, can they? Hyeok gestured for Hyeok to come closer. The revenge match request received notification popped up repeatedly. Hyeok saw it and panicked. "Oh man, what do I do?" The number of revenge match requests was piling up. He flatly refused. "Sorry, but I have to go. So, yeah, have fun. I should log out quick and figure out how to activate my skills." Seeing him leave, Hyeok was completely stunned. She seemed to be trying to stop him, but the main character couldn't hear a thing. Hyeok noticed. What are they shouting about now? Based on their lip movements, are they asking for my username to add me and fight later? The main character turned back, hands on his hips, and proudly stated his name. Is that it? Then he reconsidered. Wait a second. They probably still can't hear me, so the system must have displayed my name. But this name was too perfect, like a direct taunt to Hyeok. She burst into tears of rage. "Hey, you bastard!" After that, Hyeok logged out. Hyeok screamed at the sky. "I swear I will find you." Who the hell was that guy? The viewers laughed at her reaction. Hyeok was breathing fire. How dare they ignore me? A donor tried to calm her down. Wait, Sword Princess, that person wasn't ignoring you. For new accounts, voice chat is turned off by default. They probably never turned it on, so they couldn't hear you from the start. Hyeok gritted her teeth. No way, that's impossible. You all saw it. In the final round, my signature move, the Dance of Death. And yet, that so-called newbie dodged every single hit and finished me mid-attack. Do you really think a new player could pull that off in one match? That guy is definitely a retired pro hunting me down. Or maybe a top amateur from Anti-Met Fighter's golden age. Or even a current pro hiding their identity. The viewers wondered too. But seriously, who was that guy? Anatone? Could it be? Hyeok was shocked. The legend of Ultimate Fighter, the one called the greatest of all time. Anatone? No, it can't be him. Anatone's style is textbook perfection, but this guy's movements had no pattern. It's like he had no form at all. No, that's impossible. If that were true, wouldn't it mean he read all my moves and reacted in real time during the fight? No way. That's beyond the scope of a game. A monster like that can't possibly exist. Looking back, Hyeok's reaction was so innocent. You're back? That was a good game. What's your rank? Hyeok had yelled at him then. Are you kidding me? You fought me, so you should know. At that point, the comments were targeting Ha Jiang. LOL. He even said it was pretty good. The Sword Princess is just a mediocre transcendent. At the time, she was cursing at those people. Can you all just shut up? Because of those anonymous trolls, Ha Jiang took her anger out on the main character. Enough! Who are you, really? You're a former pro player, aren't you? Or are you still active? Seeing him just stand there, Ha Jiang lowered her voice. Fine. Enough talk. Accept my challenge for revenge. The duel request flashed, stunning Hyeok, who considered fleeing. Harang's fury blazed. Are you serious? You know who I am. You came here to target me, didn't you? No one on the Korean server is my equal, so don't play dumb. Hyeok then turned, stating his username. They were talking past each other, which only fueled Harang's rage. She swore she would find the main character. Before logging off, she screamed, "Don't try and stop me. I'll hunt that bastard down and make him quit the game." Forever, the viewers mocked Harang. How pathetic. The Sword Princess lost with her main, absolutely legendary, Sword Princess. Hours later, Hyeok returned to reality, drenched in sweat. Was that the 14th match? Computer, show my ranking stats. Current rank, 14 wins, 0 losses. He reviewed the stats. Besides the first player, the general skill level in ranked mode seemed surprisingly low. Every opponent so far had fallen for basic feints, exposing fatal weaknesses. But he was only in the diamond tier, with 2 higher ranks to go. The highest ranks would surely have more interesting challengers. But that first player definitely showed some promise. I should send them a friend request. The system confirmed. Friend request sent to the player Swordswoman. Now, would she accept? Then, another notification appeared. Chi-an had invited him to a match of It Kills 2. Hyeok remembered. Right, he'd promised Chi-an a live stream today. It was already 8 p.m. Time to go. He accepted the invite. Current viewers, 173. A crowd was already waiting. Why are you a minute late? Open the gates. Master Leto, Hyeok is here. May your noble spirit always shine brightly. Chi-an started first. Hey everyone, it's great to see you again. The audience cheered in welcome. Chi-an. Is the person behind you the axe murderer? She grinned, pointing at her brother. That's him. Look, he totally looks like a killer. I mean, my dear Appa here is the infamous axe murderer from It Kills. Hyeok heard this and wondered, axe murderer? What does that mean? Chi-an explained, your last It Kills run is going viral on every game forum. So, what's the plan for today? Chi-an spoke cryptically, making the viewers curious. What is it? Is something big happening? Chi-an prompted him. Appa, raise your axe. Introducing the specialty of Master Lido Hyeok, the It Kills speedrun, the ultimate axe duo massacre. His sister hyped him up. Hyeok was both stunned and embarrassed. Suddenly Chi-an pointed and asked, remember we stopped while hunting Master Ott? Today, we're going to try and clear It Kills 2, the one mission they couldn't finish before. Chi-an was full of energy. Alright, let's begin. But suddenly Hyeok went wild, raising his axe at a panicked Chi-an. Hey, you maniac, what's wrong with you? But Hyeok swung behind him, slaying vicious creatures. They were blood-sucking beasts. They swarmed in, their numbers growing by the second. Hyeok charged in to fight, determined to eliminate the murderous creatures before they could cause more harm. A monster lunged suddenly, but before it could strike, Hyeok grabbed its face. In a flash, he slammed the monster down and finished it swiftly. At once, 2 others roared, flanking him, as another attacked from behind. Hyeok reacted instantly, taking its head with his axe. Another monster leaped forward, charging straight for Hyeok. He met it head-on, immediately grabbing the creature's head. It was knocked out cold and hurled at the next beast, which shrieked in pain. He seized the opportunity. Hyeok unleashed a powerful blow, sending it flying far away. Behind him, the horde roared, charging like a storm. Hyeok turned, his gaze ice-cold. A single glance sent terror through the horde. His presence was overwhelming. Hyeok advanced without hesitation and delivered a clean strike with his axe. Taking its head, one by one, they all fell before him. Alright, should we finish this whole nest? He asked with a slight smile. The remaining monsters continued their attack. One suddenly opened its jaws to devour Hyeok, but he had already spotted it. He gritted his teeth with a defiant look. Now, let's pick up where we left off last time. Hyeok gathered his strength and charged forward. He fought with a frenzy, annihilating the entire monster horde. All by himself, Hyeok defeated every last one of the savage beasts. Wiping his mouth, he smirked. I'm fine, I'm already used to this. Did I get all of them? Hyeok wondered, then burst out laughing. They drop in a single hit when I target their weak points. They don't seem very tough. At that moment, the chat exploded with comments. That's because you aimed for their necks. Normally, even grenade launchers might not kill them. Actually, the pros all use knives, and melee weapons cause a longer stun. That's when Hyeok realized they were designed to be taken down in exactly that way. No wonder it was so easy. A few comments appeared. What? We don't charge head-on into battle like you do. Right, sneaking up from behind to stab them is the best way. Reading this, Hyeok was surprised. Really? From my observation, they only charge straight ahead. Can't you just predict their moves, dodge, and then kill them? At that, Cheon sighed. Normal people can't do that, you giant fool. He's never been this dense before. How can a genius understand a normal person's struggles? Oh, well, as long as the live stream is exciting, it's fine. Cheon came forward. Stop explaining, and let's clear the next stage. So, Hyeok obeyed. Elsewhere, the battle was still raging fiercely. Hwarang charged straight at her opponent, but he reacted quickly and parried her attack. He then knocked her sword far away. He focused his power into his arm, countering Hwarang with a powerful technique. Just as his blow descended, Hwarang instantly leaped high into the air, dodging the fatal blow. Why won't you turn yellow? She snarled, making the man panic. Hyeok unleashed her death dance, a whirlwind of strikes that ravaged his body. In the end, the swordswoman was victorious. That opponent was tough, but Hyeok managed to pull through. From his skills, she figured they had to be transcendent rank. The death dance is effective even on high rankers, so why did it fail against that scrub earlier? Was that guy a current pro in the UF? Or maybe a former one? Or perhaps he's a pro from Iron Fist, not the UF. One thing was certain, he could be a contender for the world's strongest, right alongside Anatole, the greatest legend in the UF. Right, only someone like that would say those things. He must be truly curious about my skills. Suddenly, a notification. You have a friend request. The comments flooded with curiosity. What is it? Don't tell me it's a guy. If it is, get the pitchforks. But then, Hyeok's expression turned to shock. This sudden shift made the commenters anxious. Hyeok trembled, muttering curses as her anger flared. Are you mocking me by changing your nickname now? I will annihilate you. Elsewhere, Hyeok's ear began to itch. Master Hyeok was walking slow, so Chi-An hurried him along. What are you doing? Hurry up. Someone must be talking trash about me. My ear is so itchy. We're almost there. The next boss is through this iron gate. Chi-An spoke up, announcing she'd studied the strategy guide and felt confident. If you press this specific brick, it will open up. Chi-An urged Hyeok to go inside. Just a few more steps up and we'll reach these iron bars, and behind them lies, just as you see, countless zombies. And with them is the final gatekeeper protecting the murderer's final boss. And the murderer should be right in the center. Looking closer, that didn't look like a zombie at all. Moreover, there was an old woman in a wheelchair. Suddenly, Chi-An screamed in horror. Chloe! This surprised Hyeok. Chloe. That old woman? Based on the reactions from Chi-An and the viewers, she had to be a boss monster. Maybe the first person infected with the mutated virus, or something similar. That's why she can control the other zombies. Someone like that has appeared before. After the outbreak, China split into 6 nations, and that man declared himself king. In one of those nations, he awakened a power like the zombie virus, allowing him to command those infected with it. He even dared to challenge Chen Tao, China's strongest hunter. And the result? Of course, he was completely crushed by Chen Tao. That event confirmed that transcendent rank hunters are immune to toxins and viruses. That really brings back old memories. Hyeok turned and asked Chi-An, anyway, that's the boss monster, right? But then a few comments said, no, that's your wife. Hyeok was stunned into disbelief. What? Chi-An then replied, from what I know, if you don't rescue Chloe within a certain time, she ages like that. The viral mutation has manifested as rapid aging. Were we really that slow in clearing the stage? Hyeok wondered, but Chi-An insisted they were actually extremely fast. She then asked her viewers, everyone, what's happening here? But they didn't know either, and just assumed it could be a game bug. Then, Hyeok and Chi-An panicked when someone mentioned it. The serum spray hasn't been used yet. Normally, you're supposed to spray the serum all over with the nozzle, but this capitalist slave duo was blinded by the reward. Block's quest had been completely overlooked, pushing the game's difficulty to the max. They might be able to find a vaccine later to save Chloe. So it was Hyeok who made her this way. Well, that is my ex-wife. You got old because of a virus mutation, right? And now we have to defeat her. My god, what kind of plot is this? As Hyeok whined and complained, Chi-An started to explain. Actually, Chloe is the source of everything, right from the very beginning. Hey everyone, you don't mind spoilers, do you? And of course, they didn't mind. The truth is, Chloe was a biochemical weapons researcher. For a military organization, the mutant strain that caused all this chaos was created by her and her organization. Their goal was developing bioterrorism weapons, but she secretly tried to take the mutant strain from the lab to sell it to a rival organization. She was caught red-handed and ended up hiding here while being hunted by her own organization. And in the process, Chloe was infected by the pathogen. In short, Chloe is both the mastermind behind the situation and the source of all events. She is the host of the mutant strain, Cheon said. Hearing this, Hyeok got more excited. Alright, so simply put, we just need to take her out and we clear the game, right? Chi immediately replied, that's right. Good. Then open the bars. We're rushing in immediately, Hyeok commanded. Right after, Cheon pressed the button to face the boss, and the bars gradually lifted. Let's begin. This is the moment you've all been waiting for and anticipating. Hyeok said, smiling sinisterly, and he would definitely create a grand scene using his frenzied axe technique. Go. The horde of zombies charged forward to attack Hyeok without hesitation. He immediately launched a counterattack. This is the second wave of enhanced zombies, following the last one. If this is their final battle, the boss fight will be a piece of cake. Hyeok was certain of it. However, some comments noted that there were too many enhanced zombies, at least double the amount from before. Just a light bite could inflict a status effect. No matter how good Master Hyeok is, this is impossible. To wipe them all out and then defeat the final boss, Chloe. But don't forget, our Master Hyeok has his ultimate crowd-clearing skill, Hurricane Rush. However, Hyeok speculated that using this skill repeatedly in reality mode, instead of game mode, was rather risky. So some viewers agreed in the comments. That's right, Master Hyeok gets motion sickness. So how is he going to clear out those zombies? Hyeok replied, if the goal isn't to eliminate them, but to take down the final boss. Just then, he launched a powerful kick into an approaching zombie's face. Then Hyeok roared. We can just dodge past the zombies. Time to find the shortest route and finish the final boss. Suddenly, Chloe's eyes flashed crimson as she flew into a rage. A wave of furious energy erupted, leaving Hyeok stunned. Instantly, a massive explosion shook the very heavens and earth. The comments flooded in. That's Chloe's ultimate sonic wave. If you drop your guard, that attack is absolutely devastating. And under the shattered wreckage lay a heap of zombies. Suddenly, a hand shot up from the pile, making the viewers' hearts race. It was Hyeok. He let out a sigh of relief. That was too close. The blast cleared the remaining zombies, leaving only the final boss. So Hyeok figured if he was careful with that last attack, he could beat the final boss instantly. However, Chloe's body began releasing some kind of toxin. This was the final boss's Phase 2 skill, the plague-bearing Dark Chloe, leaving the chat stunned. I wonder where it went. Is this a 3-murderer final boss, and he has to win with only 2 small axes? This difficulty is insane. Cheon couldn't believe her eyes. Are you kidding me? There's usually 1. Why are there 3 instead of 2? And that's not including the final boss. Is the AI broken? Just then, the system announced the difficulty, and that the AI had donated 1,001 so far. My only thought is to destroy the one who forced me into servitude. After reading, Cheon was still stunned, not understanding what was happening, as Hyeok gripped something tightly. But Cheon was worried. How can he possibly win? This is absurd. Even if the final boss isn't that hard as a special entity, everyone knows how tough those murderers are. Plus, they turn invisible when they attack, making them even harder to handle. So, one viewer coached Cheon, shoot them with the gun. They become visible when hit. That's how you clear the stage. But the problem is, we can't use that strategy here. There's a mission to only use melee weapons. Then his sister can't shoot? There's a reason the host hasn't fired a single shot this whole time. Meanwhile, Cheon thought to herself, that person is right. I've let my brother do everything until now. I just need to hold back these freakish murderers with this gun. But then Hyeok suddenly called out to Cheon and snapped the gun with his hands. Forget it. Don't even think about it. Cheon was shocked. Why? I just want to help you. Hyeok gritted his teeth. The best way you can help is by doing nothing. Are you still obsessed with that one mistake? I just want to help you. Cheon screamed, her voice trembling. One comment intentionally rubbed salt in her wound. That mistake put a hole in Master Hyeok's forehead. The team killer god. Cheon raged. You think I wanted that to happen? Hyeok smiled to himself. Cheon was probably just trying her best. Besides, this is just a game for fun. We should enjoy it. A moment later, Hyeok said to Cheon, Alright, do you have the grenades we found earlier? When I give the signal, throw one forward. Hearing this, Cheon excitedly agreed. Let's go, you can count on me. Then a comment popped up. I have a feeling she's going to forget to pull the pin. Cheon pouted in response. Come on, I at least know how to use a grenade. Hyeok even joked along. That's right, our Cheon isn't an idiot. And now, it begins. Hyeok braced himself and dashed forward, shouting, Get ready, Cheon. The horde of monsters charged right at them. This is the murderer's domain. The boss fight begins. When the moment was right, Hyeok signaled to Cheon, Now! She immediately hurled the grenade towards them, but a viewer suddenly burst out laughing. Of all the places to throw it, she throws it right over Master Hyeok's head, and then, a massive explosion erupted. Cheon, however, was terrified to the point of tears. I'm sorry, brother, my hand slipped. Hyeok's voice was calm. I'm fine. Of course, I knew you'd do that. That's why I grabbed a zombie's corpse to use as a shield. Now, Hyeok would show the viewers his ultimate technique. That's right, put your faith in my axe skills, not in my little sister. As he spoke, Hyeok leaped high into the air to strike the boss monster. This is the murderer's eye attack. The beast collapsed instantly in pain. Suddenly, a murderer-class monster appeared behind Hyeok. He instantly spun around, striking down the killer with his weapon. Continuing, Hyeok put all his strength into his arm and brought down a heavy blow on the boss, but the axe couldn't penetrate, worrying Hyeok. Just then, the semi-transparent murderer appeared behind Hyeok. It seized the opportunity and slammed into him with immense force. The situation was critical. Although attacking or being attacked breaks the monster's invisibility, there was no way to pierce its hard scales with just an axe. Suddenly, Hyeok smirked sinisterly. This is getting a little annoying, isn't it? This is even more fun than I thought. Hearing that, a few viewers gasped in shock. He's really lost it. That's right, this is the Hyeok we know. Hyeok suddenly rushed forward with lightning speed. This time, let's play for real. First, the one in the middle can't go invisible. Its eye is injured. The other two are starting to cloak. Among the alien species I've faced, some altered their molecular structure to become transparent by letting all light pass through. Compared to them, these three snakes are nothing. Hyeok closed his eyes to focus his senses. Let's begin. Recalling the feeling of destroying those creatures before, he braced himself and charged the boss monster. He was now facing two enemies, one in front and one behind. Just as one lunged with a special move, luckily, Hyeok managed to evade it. First, he would attack the one with the injured eye. He readied his axe for a strike and yelled, I'm not sure if the game implements this detail, but if the developers are the type who pay attention to the small things. That's right, I'll do it in reverse. If I focus my attack here, this reptilian monster will go down in a single blow. A few comments popped up, admiring Hyeok. This is the final boss's tentacle attack. Fortunately, Hyeok quickly dodged it. At that same moment, another murderer tried to strike from behind. Hyeok gripped his axe tightly and landed a devastating blow on the murderer. He planned to jam his axe into its mouth, using all his strength to pry its jaws wider and wider. This was a reckless strategy. Only the final assassin remained, lunging forward with fury. Hyeok now saw its greatest weakness, the inside of its mouth and its soft underbelly. The chat exploded with excitement. I knew you were alive. The only one who can beat God Hyeok is God Cheon. The assassin pushed onward, its body racked with pain. Hyeok countered with a few moves, sending it crashing to the ground. The final boss, bacterial entity Chloe, revealed itself. Hyeok grinned, launching forward at lightning speed for the final clash. Hyeok leaped high, aiming his shot. Let's rock. Victory was clear, and more donations poured in for him. Cheon rushed over, cheering loudly. We won! We cleared the game. Thanks for the donations. I'm so glad you liked it. Cheon thanked the livestream viewers, but Hyeok was lost in thought. It ended just as I was getting into it, honestly. The Ultimate Fighter match was more exciting, especially the fight with the Black Sword Girl. Her attack patterns were diverse, distance control and mind games. But compared to that, these instant kill monsters are just too simple. Then Hyeok smiled and spoke. Anyway, this time wasn't too difficult. Just then, Blackout donated 100,000 won, earning a quick thank you from Hyeok. At least we weren't scammed on the quest reward. Comments popped up. Hyeok's game clear video is already on Blackout's channel. Wait, why is Hyeok's video on Blackout's channel? Cheon explained. It's because we haven't created our own channel yet. In exchange for sending viewers their way, we agreed to upload the gameplay to Blackout's channel. Suddenly, they both got a message from Blackout. Keep the stream going. See you for the next collaboration. This caused a stir among the viewers, so Cheon seized the moment. This time, my brother is streaming with Blackout. Hyeok confirmed it would be just the two of them, and not on Cheon's channel, but on my own channel. Cheon then wondered, Have you thought of a name yet? Hyeok hadn't, so he decided to use his real name. Besides, he'd rather use his own name than copy his sister's use of a nickname. Hearing that, Cheon flared up, so Hyeok softened his tone. I think Cheon-chu is a really great streamer name, but do I really have to say it? Then Hyeok struck a few cute and adorable poses, stunning Cheon. She immediately protested. Stop it, that's so cringe. So, Hyeok decided he would just use the name Lido Hyeok. Chi-an happily announced, anyway, my brother's streamer debut will be tomorrow at 8 p.m. You can find more details on my Twitch profile. Thank you all for watching. See you on the live stream tomorrow. The next day, comments about Hyeok continued to flood in. As expected, Hyeok really knows how to hype up a crowd. Blackout praised him happily, then asked, You've seen all these posts, right? Hyeok replied, I saw them. Honestly, I didn't expect so many people to be talking, Blackout said excitedly. It's because Hyeok showed off overwhelming skill. I think the main content for your stream should be games that highlight that physical power. Hyeok was curious. What kind of game? Rise of Valhalla, Blackout replied. Rise of Valhalla is a game set in the 9th century, during the Great Heathen Army's invasion of Anglo-Saxon England. Its highlight is the excellent combat system, and the incredibly intense, brutal yet noble battlefield combat. It's the perfect game to experience the Viking way. It's also the most recommended game on the forums. What do you think, Hyeok? He thought for a moment. Valhalla. It has both a standard mode and a reality mode, right? Blackout replied, That's right. To be honest, for pure entertainment value, Valhalla is the perfect game for you, Hyeok. Your greatest strength is your physical skill. Valhalla supports both modes, but most people can't keep up. With a Viking-level physique, almost no one plays in reality mode. If you play in this mode, you don't even need to reach a boss. Even the early-stage Saxon foot soldiers are extremely difficult to defeat. I challenged reality mode a few times and got destroyed. Absolutely crushed. Hearing this, Hyeok asked, How far did you get? Blackout. After many attempts, I only managed to defeat one knight, a normal one, and I was immediately crushed by the next guy. I wouldn't call that a spoiler. Hyeok was shocked. You were pretty good in Ultimate Fighter before, but even you struggled against a single knight? Then it must be nearly impossible for a normal player. Blackout was flustered. That's a little embarrassing to hear. I lost badly right before. We just had that match in Ultimate Fighter. Lido Hyeok is only going to get stronger. If I had won just one game, I would have quit the alpha immediately and never fought Hyeok again. That strategy is so cheap. I'd forever be the one who beat Hyeok in the alpha. Blackout had rushed in, hoping he could brag about that. With this version of Hyeok, he might actually clear the whole thing. Valhalla's reality mode challenge, something even I could never complete. With these thoughts, Blackout spoke up to share them with Hyeok. Only a select few have ever reached the end of Valhalla's reality mode challenge, and even they only passed after countless retries. But for you, you won't need a single retry. I believe you can clear this challenge. I see. Hyeok understood the implication. It's already 8 o'clock. If I want to be worthy of that trust, I need to try even harder. Hyeok called out. Cheon, can you hear me? Yeah, I hear you loud and clear, she replied. Hyeok then instructed, Make sure you do a good job as my one-day manager today. Alright, let's do this. Full dive, connecting to the game lobby now. Stepping in, Hyeok greets all of his viewers. I'll tell everyone what we're playing in a bit. Any questions for me? Instantly, the comments flooded in. Who are you? Really? What did you do before this? How are you so good? For a moment, Hyeok was flustered and couldn't answer, but inside, he thought differently. I saved the world as the strongest hunter. Then I regressed. Not keeping them waiting, Hyeok just smiled. Talking about my past is difficult, so I'll skip it. Anyway, there is one thing I want to ask all of you. I plan on making a game, the main content for my live streams. The system then opened up the game library. Games like It Kills 2 and Ultimate Fighter appeared. Hyeok continued. I played this a few times when it was buggy. It feels pretty nostalgic. What do you all think? Reading the comments, Hyeok saw their reactions were just as Blackout predicted. Is Ultimate Fighter really that terrible? Even Jian did not agree. Ultimate Fighter is too outdated. It's so bad, it's called a mediocre brawler. These days, Iron Fist is the top pick for fighting games. Hyeok thought, maybe it's best to avoid Ultimate Fighter on the stream. He then made his announcement. I have decided on today's game. And with the viewer count now at 2,245, Hyeok felt a surge of excitement. Alright then, let's start the game. Rise of Valhalla. The system immediately began the full dive. Rise of Valhalla connected, now in idle mode. Entering the game, Hyeok was stunned. So this is the Viking world in Rise of Valhalla? Chien. then prompted Hyeok to select a mode, and he'll choose reality mode first. Surprisingly, Hyeok even had a pair of axes. He then announced, "Today we have a special guest joining us, and that person is Blackout." After a quick greeting, Hyeok explained, "That's right, as part of our collaboration agreement, Blackout will host his viewers on my stream. In exchange, we will upload a collaboration video to his channel." The system showed Blackout pulled in 2,427 viewers. He got excited. "Now this is what I call a honeypot," and the viewers kept climbing, reaching 5,128 so far. Blackout thought, "Right, this is how you build relationships, one step at a time. If I build a connection with the rising star Lee Do-hyuk now, just standing next to him will bring me massive benefits." Hyeok shouted, "Computer, start the game immediately." Rise of Valhalla's story began. Scene start. In the year 793, a horrific disaster fell upon the holy land of Northumbria. A cursed name, Vikings, where Ragnar and his warriors of the Vikings landed on Northumbria's coast. Ragnar fought his final battle against King Aella II. He fell into a trap and met a tragic end. Ragnar roared, "You cowardly Saxons, this is not over. When my sons learn of this, they will not sit idly by. From the great hall Odin has prepared, I will smile as I watch your ruin. Valhalla." With that, Ragnar perished. And so, Odin's greatest warrior, our king, Ragnar, the voice of Viking combat instructor, Eorun Herrenfast, boomed, fell at the hands of those cruel Saxons. Our duty is revenge and retribution. Only those acknowledged as warriors can become one. Who will be the first to become Odin's warrior? Blackout then turned and spoke to Hyeok. In normal mode, he teaches you parrying and combat. But in reality mode, you must earn his recognition first, from Eorun to even play Valhalla. Hearing that, Hyeok was genuinely surprised. Blackout drew his axes. "Then I'll give it a shot first." He was thrilled. "Everyone knows I took down a knight with a sword and shield, right? Even if dual wielding is tricky, it's just trading my sword and shield for axes. Besides, I have tried Rise of Valhalla's reality mode before." Eorun heard this and grew excited. Dual axes. "It has been a while since a foolish rookie was brave enough for 2 weapons. I'll teach you how to properly use them. Charge, rookie." Blackout instantly dashed forward like lightning. "This rookie will make you take that back." He charged in, thinking about his attack. Dual wielding is hard, but has one advantage: unpredictability. Blackout baited a defense with his first blow, but Eorun read him and parried it easily. He scoffed, "Your attack is too weak." Blackout was still smug, looking for an opening for a combo. He countered Eorun with both axes again, but a huge fist slammed into his face, distorting it. Eorun Herrenfast defeated Blackout in one hit. As he trembled in bitter frustration from the blow, the livestream viewers started openly mocking him at Blackout for rushing in so foolishly. Eorun looked bored, called him talentless, and assigned him to kitchen duty. Some viewers mocked his kitchen duty, noting how tragic that is for a Viking. The instructor then challenged the remaining players. While Lee Do-hyuk checked on Blackout, he asked if his dual blade skill was that weak. Hearing Hyeok say no, he cheered, "You understand me best." But then Hyeok nonchalantly added that it was terrible. Blackout was stunned. The viewers heard Hyeok's line and laughed, saying he was right. Even harsher than the NPC, Blackout was completely shocked. Every word from Lee Do-hyuk made him furious. Hyeok then spoke about dual wielding. "In a real fight, you must be precise and efficient." He confidently told Blackout, "You'd get it if you saw my It Kills 2 playthrough." Blackout said he'd watched and copied him. Hearing this, Lee Do-hyuk put on a dramatic, teary-eyed face. This caused the chat to roast Blackout even harder. He then patted his shoulder, encouraging him. Someone donated, wanting to see Hyeok beat Eorun. The 2 streamers' moods were now polar opposites. 3 more donations came in, demanding a fight from Hyeok. He thanked everyone, wondering if beating Eorun was that difficult, something Blackout had already explained to him. He described the man's immense power, watching him demolish the other challengers. Bored with these weaklings, Euron roared for a real opponent. Another donation came in, betting he couldn't beat Hyeok, but a comment sparked an argument, forcing him to intervene. Hyeok grabbed his weapon. A simple win wasn't enough. He made a proposal that confused his opponent. Hyeok declared he'd win in 10 seconds and complete the quest. 3 more viewers donated, betting on the sure thing. Everyone praised Hyeok, forcing Blackout to defend himself. While Blackout fumed, Euron sneered. "You use blades too, kid?" He continued taunting, challenging the young whelp. "Let's see if you're worthy of dual blades." Hyeok raised his sword, unleashing a torrent of golden light. Euron dodged, trying to read his strategy. Hyeok then rushed forward, catching him off guard with a powerful strike. It forced Euron to use his full strength to block. He realized the axe throw was a feint, admitting Hyeok had skill as he retrieved the weapon. His combat sense is sharp, Hyeok thought. He was still analyzing, searching for a weakness in his opponent's strategy. The NPC was using adaptive learning. Hyeok knew stronger ones existed, but his own life-or-death experience was a greater weapon. He readied his stance, aiming to finish Euron. His foe praised his impressive aura, then launched an attack to test it. Hyeok parried the blow with his twin axes. Euron was now using his real power, and though Hyeok met it, the giant was stronger. Hyeok countered his opponent's combo, forcing a heavy defense. He then locked Euron's weapon with his leg, leaping up to attack. Hyeok's opening kick drew blood from his mouth. A punch to the arm made Euron roar in fury. "You damn brat!" He then launched himself into an inverted flying kick. Euron grabbed for him, or so he thought. Hyeok was already on his head. A flash of golden light erupted, causing Euron immense pain. He spun around, muttering, "This kid." He froze as an axe met his neck. Hyeok declared the match over. The system announced, "Quest complete." Blackout and the chat erupted, calling him a legend. 2 more donations came in from viewers who always believed. Hyeok smiled and gratefully thanked everyone for their support. Euron rose, saying that last blow reminded him of a son of Odin. Blackout instantly recognized the name's significance. Being called a son of Odin was a Viking's highest honor. The chat agreed that Euron was brutally honest, a true warrior. He then asked for Hyeok's name. As a warrior blessed by Odin, he announced himself as Gunnar and explained its meaning, because Hyeok was the protagonist of Vise of Valhalla. Euron agreed it was a true Viking name. The system updated the quest. A system window described Odin, god of war and frenzy who grants power to his champions. And Gunnar was a legendary warrior. Perhaps he carried the bloodline of a king, like Odin himself. Hyeok was shocked. The warrior's recognition quest was 1/5 complete. When Euron immediately issued another quest, everyone was confused. Hyeok realized this had to be an extremely rare mission. Blackout explained it was a side quest that was nearly impossible to get. The title of Hyeok's new quest was simply Odinson. Once acknowledged by 5 great warriors, a player earns the Son of Odin title. It separates the masters from mere mortals. Blackout guessed the quest wasn't new, but for it to appear in the tutorial zone, that was completely unheard of. Others had beaten Euron, but this was the first he'd heard of anyone getting the Odinson quest. Blackout explained this to Hyeok. The time limit was the hidden trigger. Defeating Euron within 10 seconds unlocked the quest. Hyeok was shocked. There was a time limit? Another donation came in, comparing Blackout unfavorably to Hyeok. His face darkened at the comment as he argued with the mockers. He whined that dual blades were hard, blaming Hyeok. Hyeok patted his shoulder, saying, "Two-handed weapons aren't for the talentless." Hyeok clarified that he wasn't insulting him, just stating that Blackout had no talent for dual blades. The chat's mockery intensified. This enraged Blackout. He drew his sword, saying he accepted Hyeok's words, but not the chat's disrespect. He declared he would use his main weapon to earn Euron's respect. The chat just mocked him for equipping his sword and shield. Hyeok offered some encouragement, but the chat dismissed it. Blackout snapped, telling them all to shut up and let him fight. Then, a supportive donation came in, and Blackout's spirit soared. He took his stance, ready to prove he was Hyeok's equal. He would make them eat their words. Euron just laughed. The little milk drinker returns? Blackout charged, determined to shut him up. Blackout struck, but Euron easily parried. He shoved him back, scoffing that the attack was too weak to breach his defenses. He dodged the next blow but took a fist to the gut. Euron grinned. "Now this is the spirit I wanted," before following with a kick. He hefted his axe, ready for a real battle. His opponent looked wrecked, but Blackout raised his shield just in time. He used every ounce of strength to hold him off, then managed a counter. Euron's face grew serious. Not bad, but still green. Then he punched him. The two clashed as Hyeok and the viewers watched. Hyeok had to admit, Blackout was much better with a sword and shield, but in the end, Blackout was knocked to the ground. Euron's axe rested on his throat. The warrior declared the match over as he seethed. Before everyone, he demanded a weapon change. Then Blackout improved, earning the system's approval. Euron dismissed the crowd as Hyeok helped Blackout up. As he celebrated the recognition, the man asked if they were confident enough to go on a hunt. Blackout knew this was a quest and confidently accepted, boasting of his archery. Euron sent them to the hunting party. The system provided gear for a hunt of level 5 or less. Hyeok and Blackout achieved a hunting skill of 4 out of 5. They caught a rabbit, but Blackout questioned why he hadn't shot. Had he never used a bow before? He explained he'd used magic and toy bows, but a real one was a first. Hyeok agreed when Blackout suggested practicing on a tree. Focusing on the instructions, Hyeok released his first arrow. He knew it missed when it struck a rock. The comments lit up with surprise that Hyeok wasn't perfect, but he wanted more practice to get used to the bow. Blackout was happy to teach him. He was so full of himself, boasting that they should just trust in his skills. Everyone saw him as unbearably arrogant, especially since he'd missed plenty of shots. Suddenly, a deer in the distance caught Hyeok's eye. Blackout saw it too and pushed him aside, confidently drawing his bow to show off his so-called talent. The kill shot was fired. And thud. It missed, hitting a tree and scaring the deer. The audience roared with laughter at his failure. Hyeok couldn't watch the deer escape. He shoved the showboating Blackout aside. Gripping his axe, he took a breath, and one throw made the deer vanish. Both Blackout and the live viewers were in awe. He had downed the deer by predicting its path and throwing his axe. As he retrieved his axe, the chat flooded with praise. His hunting skill had maxed out at 5 out of 5. The two were shocked by a new linked quest, an enemy raid. The system announced Saxon soldiers were targeting the Viking base. Outside, enemy scouts were reporting to their commander. One eagerly told his captain to keep watching. The duo also received the alert of the Saxon attack. The enemy had amassed their forces under an elite Saxon warrior named Karo. Hyeok and Blackout were stunned. The base was the target, and they needed to return. The raid timer appeared. Hyeok knew the real game was starting. A player donated 5,000 won for an axe kill. He casually accepted, thanking them for the mission. Blackout urged they leave, saying he knew the way. Hyeok, however, was confused about where to go. Blackout insisted on the base, fearing they'd be late. He was then stunned by Hyeok's plan to intercept them. Blinded by the donation, Hyeok worried about losing it in a base defense. Blackout was terrified. It was just the two of them, against a massive force. The comments exploded with more donations and talk of the 5,001 challenge. Hyeok then bolted, shocking Blackout that he was actually doing it. The Saxons marched cautiously under their leader's command. Suddenly, a flash of steel flew by. Hyeok's axe eliminated one of them, baffling his comrades. The enemy reacted, recognizing them as Vikings. But while they sneered, Hyeok charged forward, ignoring his teammates' protests. The commander ordered the attack. Hyeok yelled to Blackout, "Whoever finishes first takes it all." A Saxon's shield shattered under his blow. He continued his rampage, tearing through them one by one. The axe flew back to his hand as he continued the fight. He easily dodged a sneak attack. The attacker received a face-altering punch, followed by a finishing blow. The leader, Karo, and his men watched him with caution. He screamed for Hyeok to stop. Spurred on by the chat, Blackout charged Karo to prove his own strength. Hyeok, meanwhile, had already felled 6 men. He was still trying to name his skill, wondering if Blackout was even fighting. He turned to see his teammate getting battered and screaming for help. At first, he thought Blackout was holding his own, but he was actually near collapse. The audience got another chance to laugh at him. Blackout cursed when Hyeok said he'd thin the herd first. As he spoke, another assassin lunged, only to be instantly erased. Hyeok went on a wild rampage, felling them with terrifying speed. A demonic look crossed his face, striking fear into the soldiers. Then they were caught in his attack. Viewers watched in awe as he cleared the field, leaving only 6. The commander and his remaining men were horrified. It was baffling to see NPCs that could feel fear. Hyeok paused, wondering if they would run. Just then, Karo ordered his men to continue the attack, but instead, they all turned and fled. Overcome by terror, they retreated. Hyeok had no intention of letting them get away. A streak of light from his axe shot forward, hitting a running soldier. His comrades panicked. The man could only cry as he watched. The chat agreed they should just give up. Viewers realized Hyeok had no more axes, but he wanted to try his bow. Someone asked if the axe mission was done, but he already had a plan. Hyeok fired an arrow, and everyone thought he was a terrible shot. It missed wildly, startling one of the fleeing men. Everyone laughed at his archery, but after that one shot, something seemed to click. He aimed again, though viewers advised him to give up. The arrow flew from the string. It struck the enemy's leg, shocking everyone. He was relieved that his aim had finally connected. A cry of pain erupted as Hyeok's arrow found its mark. The live viewers suspected he was aiming for their legs on purpose and were amazed at his continuous accuracy. Hyeok then jumped and stomped on a soldier, causing him immense pain. The man cried for mercy, but Hyeok finished him with his axe. Another man tried to crawl away from his demonic stare. He screamed, "Stay away!" but Hyeok silenced him with a devastating blow. The forest echoed with his victim's screams. While he was busy teaching the runners a lesson, the community was buzzing, wondering how he'd mastered the bow so fast. They even suspected he was a reincarnator. Hyeok answered their questions, saying he just needed a little practice to get used to it. No one believed him, of course, but he didn't care. Only Karo remained. Blackout was still desperately fighting him, screaming for Hyeok's help. A brutal strike sent him down for daring to look away. The crowd mocked Blackout's fall while Hyeok tried to explain. The Mad Fox swung his weapon, curses spilling from his lips. Blackout parried, furious his allies wouldn't help, while Hyeok played dumb. It enraged him so much, he called the man deaf. Mad Fox shattered his shield and even snapped his sword, moving in for the kill. In that desperate moment, Blackout could only scream. Hyeok leaped in to block the blow, stunning his foe, who raged at the interruption. But Hyeok slipped behind him, using a special skill with his iron face to end it instantly. The system announced the mission was complete, as viewers praised his solo carry. As Hyeok checked on Blackout, he looked up resentfully, asking why he didn't help him sooner. Hyeok casually replied he didn't think he needed help. Blackout was stunned by the answer, as Hyeok made a cute face to explain. He said players usually get mad when you steal their kill, and he didn't seem to be in real danger. Blackout was absolutely furious. Hyeok added that real danger means losing an item. As they argued, Blackout continued to complain. But then, a group ran up from behind, calling for Gunner. Blackout panicked at the sight of Euron, who simply smacked his face and rushed to check on Hyeok, but Hyeok insisted he was fine. Blackout popped up, reminding Euron he was there too, just as two more men arrived. They piled right on top of Blackout. As the four checked on Gunner, Blackout declared he was logging off. Hyeok also mentioned that Blackout wasn't okay. He glanced over and saw Blackout had disappeared. Everyone only cared about Hyeok, which the online viewers found hilarious. In that moment, Hyeok realized the tutorial was over. Now, the true world was set to begin. He looked to the sky, unsure of his next move, when another powerful figure appeared. Dalit wanted Hyeok to defeat Stone Fist Byeogup with his current gear. The reward was a bonus, but it had to be done within 12 hours. Everyone thought the guy was just a rich kid. Though he didn't know who Stone Fist was, he'd do it for the money. Euron asked if he planned to face Byeogup alone, calling it impossible. He agreed to help Hyeok. The system then announced a new feature, recruiting teammates, but Hyeok wondered what good allies would even be. An online viewer quickly explained the benefits, so Hyeok invited them all to come along. Pleased, Euron ordered his men to prepare horses. The sound of galloping hooves filled the air. While riding, he asked Euron about Stone Fist Byeogup. Euron explained Byeogup was a dream who once served the king, but after the king passed, he lost all his honor. Euron added that he'd heard rumors Byeogup was now pillaging villages in the Seasit region. A system notification appeared. Byeogup was once one of the greatest warriors of the Ragnar Knights, practically blessed by Odin himself. If Hyeok could lead him to Valhalla, the warrior's recognition quest would reactivate. Now, he just had to find Byeogup and earn his respect. Hyeok read the new mission details as the viewers eagerly watched. Their horses stopped at a cliff's edge. Euron signaled they had arrived. He pointed toward Byeogup's hideout. Since he knew the man, Euron told Hyeok to wait and blow the horn he was given if he needed help. But the moment Euron finished, Hyeok charged for the enemy base. The viewers screamed for him to stop, but he ignored them, rushing toward Byeogup's guards. He wondered if he had to defeat all these grunts just to meet the boss. The moment they saw him, the gate guards raised their weapons, but he kept charging forward, declaring, "A true Viking warrior doesn't attack from the shadows." The men inside were startled by the noise. They were shocked to see Hyeok using his horse to smash right through their main gate. The camp realized they were under attack. Hyeok drew his bow and fired, and one by one, his targets began to fall. The men collapsed to the ground. The rest gathered to fight back. His horse was struck, but he leaped off just in time. To the enemy's shock, a volley of arrows rained down from above. His opponents were struck down as Hyeok landed right in the middle of them. He stood up with a triumphant smirk. Byeogup's soldiers raised their shields in fury. Seeing their defense, Hyeok already had a plan. He tossed his bow aside, calling it a coward's weapon, and grabbed his axe. From now on, he declared, "I'll crush you all with this." The mob charged, screaming, "Get him!" With a fierce look, Hyeok dodged their attacks. His axe swung, cutting them down one by one, until a man with orange hair lunged forward. Hyeok swiftly blocked the attack with his axe. He spun and countered. The orange-haired man's head went flying, his face a mask of pain, as another swordsman attacked from behind. Sensing the danger, Hyeok's eyes flared as he charged. With a ferocious roar, he grabbed the man in a powerful embrace. The others continued their assault. "Fire!" one of them screamed. Hyeok used the bodies as a human shield, and his enemies screamed in panic. The black-haired man ordered them to fire again. Suddenly, a body was thrown right at him. He angrily knocked it aside with his sword and roared, "Who do you think you are, pulling these tricks?" In the blink of an eye, Hyeok was right in front of him, moving at incredible speed. Before he could react, Hyeok slammed him with his axe. At that moment, he was like a savage beast, raising his axe for the finishing blow. One of the men screamed out, "Chief!" Suddenly, an axe flew at Hyeok, but he managed to block it. A giant foot slammed down nearby. With his colossal frame, he spoke. "This ends now." The online viewers exploded with excitement. "It's Hyeok!" The black-haired man shouted with glee. "Chief! He's the one who charged in!" Hyeok slammed his axe into the man's side. "Be quiet!" Hyeok flinched and roared, "You little punk!" Hyeok proudly gripped his axe. "I don't have time for this. Let's just fight. Come on!" Hearing this, Hyeok furiously slammed his own axe down. Smoke billowed as he roared, "You damn bastard!" He suddenly vanished, his voice echoing. "Are you tired of living?" Hyeok charged forward at blinding speed, his eyes burning with pure killing intent. "Let me teach you the meaning of regret." The scene cuts to a training arena where two youths are clashing. A system window flashes. Anatole is victorious. Anatole calmly says, "Hello everyone. It's been a while." The viewers go wild. "It's Anatole." He casually confirms, "Yeah, that's right. Isn't this your first stream since the Iron First tournament? Too bad you only got to the semi-finals." Anatole's expression darkens, and the chat shows concern. "Are you doing okay?" He quickly replies, "I'm fine now. A few days of rest put me back in top form." Anatole clenches his fist, lost in thought. In Ultimate Fighter, the name Anatole was synonymous with world champion. Taking home trophies was just another day at the office for him. He stood there, reflecting. Yet in Iron First, his best result was only the semi-finals, but Anatole's spirit was far from broken. He announces to his stream, "Today, I'm going to recapture my original fighting spirit." Anatole then continues, "How about we take a trip back to my hometown?" With a snap, the view count hits 38,217. He logs out, as the world of Iron First dissolves. He launches Ultimate Fighter. The viewer count plummets. A hater mocks. Views are dropping. No one plays a dead game. Anatole teleports into a small house. He's dressed simply and remarks, "Wow, how long has it been? Almost a year since I've been in Ultimate Fighter." He snaps his fingers again and speaks, "Time to hop on my secondary account. Let's go." Instantly, Anatole's avatar changes outfits. He grins. "All right, let's get into a match." He commands the system, "Find a match." A robotic voice replies, "Searching for opponent." The scene shifts to another house, filled with thunderous shouts. The reaction is as explosive as always. "Look at this." The viewers are going insane. Man, watching this highlight still gives me chills. This editing is absolutely god tier. We see Bo-Voon and Hyeok preparing to fight as the view count soars to 102,000. Viewers praise their skills. Lee Cheon complains. They even have memes. So cringe. Hyeok looks completely lost. Cheon turns to him, beaming. "You're getting so hot. You don't need me for views anymore. You're a star. Get it?" Hyeok smiles. "Yeah, but it's all thanks to you, Cheon. You worked hard today, manager." Cheon yawns. "It was nothing. I'm off to bed. You get some rest too." Hyeok replies. "But it feels like a waste to sleep now. Maybe I should try Iron First, that new hot game?" He quickly shakes his head. He continues, "No, I'll stick to the plan. Grind my way to Celestial in Ultimate Fighter. Just one more win to hit Grandmaster, right?" OC closes the door, holding a player card. Though, Little Black Sword and Little Rabbit from my friends list are never online. Don't tell me they quit the game. He hops on his machine, shrugging. "Oh well, whatever." The system initiates a full dive. A voice reports, "Entering game lobby." Hyeok logs into the game, searching for an opponent. A notification pops up. He squints at the screen. Nickname is First Noodle Cooking Champion. The system gives him two options, decline or accept. Hyeok is puzzled. 0 wins and 0 losses. Must be a returning player's old account. He hits accept. "Alright, let's see what this is about." Anatole finds a match. He strokes his chin. "Such a strong name, huh? Whoa, and a 100% win rate." Anatole starts to analyze. Probably a Grandmaster or Celestial rank player. It might be an alt account of someone I don't know. His viewers start mocking the name. Anatole wonders, who is this troll? The chat is buzzing about the strange name and its perfect record. Anatole glances at the notification and speaks nonchalantly. "Is that right?" He accepts the match confidently. "Another one of those hidden masters in a mask? Let's see if you can keep up that act in front of me." An opponent with an overwhelming aura appears before him. Anatole grins. So, the secret master finally shows himself. He looks absolutely thrilled. He crosses his arms. Let's see if I can guess your true identity. Anatole gestures forward. Come on, let's have a real duel. But then, Hyeok points directly at Anatole, confusing him. With a provoking look, Hyeok says, So, why don't you make the first move? Anatole's expression instantly darkens. Are you looking down on me? In a flash, he vanishes from sight, shouting, I'll make you eat those words, here I come. Hyeok throws a kick, but Anatole dodges it with ease. Seizing the opening, Anatole grabs Hyeok's leg and sends him flying. Anatole pivots, gritting his teeth. As Hyeok plummets, he covers his face, while Anatole prepares a crushing blow. His face is filled with determination. He smashes his fist into Hyeok. Sweat drips from his brow as his mind races. This is crazy. He actually blocked that attack. Hyeok's powerful counterkick slams into Anatole's face, distorting it on impact. Hyeok's eyes are filled with killing intent. He spins, brutally kicking Anatole to the floor. The impact echoes. Hyeok radiates a deadly aura, readying a finishing blow, while Anatole is still dazed. A deep crack forms on the floor beneath him. Anatole turns his head in sheer panic. He barely manages to dodge as Hyeok's fist shatters the ground where he lay. The floor is now completely destroyed from that single, terrifying punch. The viewers are left speechless by that intense exchange of blows. Anatole is already wounded from that narrow escape. Hyeok glares at him like a wild beast stalking its prey. The chat starts to speculate. Maybe he got rusty after taking a break. Anatole grinds his teeth in fury. Let my guard down? Lost my touch? No. It's more than just that. His technique is only part of it. He studies Hyeok. During that last clash, I felt something else. A strange, unnerving sensation. If I don't figure it out, I'm going to lose. Anatole rushes in again, thinking, first, let's test his reflexes. He throws a sharp jab. Anatole ducks under Hyeok's strike. He goes low, grabbing his opponent's leg. That was a feint. The real move is a low-level counter. Suddenly, Hyeok's other leg whips upward. Anatole's eyes widen in pure shock. He got me. Hyeok's face is a mask of fury as the kick tears through the air. Anatole dodges, but the force sends him reeling backward. He thinks in horror, what the hell? He instantly countered my own counterattack? At this close range? Was that just pure luck? Hyeok lunges forward, his fist flying toward Anatole. Anatole struggles desperately to evade. He launched a sudden attack, but Hyeok blocked it instantly. Hyeok then spun, grabbing Anatone's hand and smashing it down. Anatone cried out in pain. Hyeok drove an elbow straight into his face. Gritting his teeth, Anatone was stunned. Hyeok was reading all his attack timings. What? Anatone aimed a powerful punch at Hyeok. Hyeok dodged with ease, spinning and ramming Anatone, sending him flying. His eyes widened in shock, thinking, reverse mountain crusher. Hyeok's relentless assault forced Anatone into a desperate defense. He realized it's impossible to counter without a setup move. In Alpha's skill system, reverse mountain crusher only activates from a specific stance. A special stance. Anatone struggled to block Hyeok's barrage of punches while thinking, sure, you can skip the stance to use the skill, but the timing would be off, and it wouldn't have this kind of power. The viewers commented that Anatone was on the ropes. They traded blows relentlessly. Suddenly, Hyeok stomped hard, his body erupting in blazing flames. Anatone knew this was the Crimson Flame kick. He glanced at the fire, thinking, damn it. The energy from that kick is cutting off my escape. And now, the finishing blow, he thought in fear. A final move that forces a one-sided confrontation. He's using a wide-range skill again. At this close range, Anatone saw an opening. His chance. The Crimson Flame kick is strong, but after the motion, he can't. Withdraw the move. My time is now, Anatone thought. If I can read the timing, dodging this is a piece of cake. He launched a calculated fire fist. Then I'll use the Crimson Flame kick's cooldown to land a critical hit. Anatone smirked. Certain victory was his. Before he could react, Hyeok landed a kick right in Anatone's face, giving him no time to counter. Anatone screamed, his thoughts in chaos. To skip the skill penalty, you have to manually input every move. Now I get it. That weird feeling. Anatone was now nothing but a punching bag for Hyeok, to hit as he pleased. Anatone thought, this guy. He never once relied on autocorrection. The system window appeared. Hyeok wins. After that brutal beatdown, Hyeok exhaled. Whew, you've got some skill. Anatone lay defeated on the floor, the audience just as shocked. Anatone was bewildered. Impossible. Can you really activate skills with perfect accuracy without needing corrections? He frowned, thinking, I have to be sure. he said seriously. One more round, please. Hoken grinned. Sure, let's go. Anatone charged again and yelled, Here I come. They clashed, and again, the system announced Hoken's victory. Anatone was utterly thrashed, while Hoken looked refreshed. That was a close one. Anatone demanded another duel. One more. The sounds of fighting echoed, but in the end, Hoken won again. Hoken panted. That's 5 matches in a row. Let's stop here for today. Anatone, battered and bruised, replied with his last bit of strength. Yeah, fine. Hoken sighed. Whew, 5 wins against Anatone. What's my record now? A notification showed 26 wins and 0 losses. Hoken clenched his fist. One more win and I'll reach the Heavenly Realm rank. If I reach that rank, I'll find more interesting opponents, he continued. And if my stream viewers find out I'm playing Alpha Fighter, I'm just a rookie streamer. He added, See you all tomorrow, on the stream. If they find me playing another game alone, I'll get flamed, Hoken said with a serious face. So I have to hide my identity as long as possible, and reveal it when I hit number 1 in Alpha Fighter. Hoken asked the system, Calm. I set my basic info and appearance to private, right? The system replied, Yes, until you change the settings. The system, which allowed appearance customization, asked, Would you like to make a change? Hoken answered bluntly, No, I'll keep it as is. He continued, Anyway, if Alpha is this fun, Iron first. The king of fighting games must be even more thrilling. Hoken looked at a notification and said, To prepare, I should befriend people like Anatone. He ordered the .com to send a friend request to Anatone. The .com asked, Would you like to send a message? Hoken replied, Since Anatone is pretty good. With a sly look, he said, To encourage him and push him to improve. Let's say this. The next morning, a new message arrived. Anatone, you've got real talent. I sent a friend request. Let's play again sometime. After reading the message, his face was a picture of pure surprise. He couldn't understand what just happened. He was stunned, as his current viewer count skyrocketed, now at 22,176, and countless praises poured in for him. Anatone, you're gifted. This guy is insane. Then, a flood of friend requests arrived, making him both happy and worried. He never expected to hear that, especially not in a game like UFC Fighter. An electronic notice appeared. Anatone has received 1001. So who was it? Have you figured it out yet? He was flustered and said honestly, I really don't have a single clue. He scrolled through the screen. Speaking of which, let's rewatch that match, he said while pulling up the replay. Here it is, the Crimson Flame kick part. The fight was intense and thrilling. Just rewatching it gave him goosebumps. Many comments were left, like, that kick was uncorrected, right? That's why Anatone got hit. The Crimson Flame kick's activation was just godly. Anatone smirked, enjoying the spectacular replay. He focused on his opponent's strategy and analyzed, not just that kick, none of his moves were corrected. If I said that out loud, people would lose their minds. He clenched his fist with determination. I thought I had mastered Alpha Fighter, but there's someone so far beyond me. Maybe this is why I struggled in Iron Fist. Is the answer here? Anatone decided to turn off the chat. He told the gamers, That's enough of the replay for now. Many players were disappointed, but I wanted to hear more analysis. This time, he was determined not to be the only one to suffer. If this video doesn't get out, then my other rivals will just get crushed by Hoken, he continued. So I have to keep this top secret. A wicked smile spread across his face. He thought, they need to feel the shock I felt when I fought him. Reading the hateful comments about her brother, Lee Cheon slammed her fist on the table. This is so irritating. Even his name is ridiculous, she fumed, enraged. The forums are filled with posts about him. If he weren't here, my brother would be number 1, she muttered. My brother's just busy with Valhalla. If he logged into UL Fighter, that guy would be sent straight to the lobby. She sighed, returning to her moderation duties. I have to protect my brother's reputation on this forum. Cheon's eyes narrowed. But that guy who went to the convenience store, he's completely vanished. The scene shifts to a convenience store where a voice rings out. Good grief, if she wants banana milk, she should have come and bought it herself. He's lucky I'm even letting him use a card. The owner grumbled about her young customer. Buy plenty of it, she snapped. Humiliated, the boy rushed out the door. He crashed right into Hyeok, falling hard to the ground. A hidden knife clattered out from his pocket. Hyeok rushed to help him up, asking gently, Hey, are you all right? Can you stand? The boy's face was grimy as he slowly looked up. Yes, I'm sorry, he stammered. Hyeok couldn't hide his utter shock. He recognized the boy. You're Taitu Jurgaman, aren't you? The kid jumped back, startled. How do you know my nickname and my real name? Who are you? Do-hyuk couldn't believe it. He had to ask again. Is it really you, Jurgaman? Before I returned to the past, you were my subordinate, tied to Jurgaman. The memories flooded back. He remembered the time before his regression and began to explain. In the early days of the apocalypse, the weaker ability users were helpless, so I formed the Wild Dog Squad. Squad 13 was the one I personally commanded. He recalled the past. Our team's strategist was Tai-Tu Jurgaman. You used to boast about it so confidently. Captain, sir, I'm so damn jealous of big guys like you. Do-hyuk's face soured. Oh great, he's starting again. Who gave him a drink? Then, Doan pleaded, come on, Captain, stop nagging all the time. She laughed, hugging him while defending Gamin. This kid, Tai-Tu, needs a little booze to get his brain working. Isn't that right, Tai-To? He quickly covered her mouth. Sis, be quiet. Not another word. You ladies are always calling me cute. It just makes everyone underestimate me. The older woman pinched his cheek teasingly. It's a compliment, she cooed. Our Tai-Tu is super manly. He struggled, insisting. I said no, and I mean it. Another man from the team stepped forward, flipping his hair and speaking with confidence. Knock it off. Tai-Tu said he hates it. Or hey, how about I handle the rest of you girls? She shot to her feet, furious at his words. Get lost, you damn pervert. He gave a strained laugh and backed off. He was terrified of her, thinking, that woman is seriously scary. I nearly wet myself. When she turned back, Tai-Tu was gone. Where did he go? She asked worriedly. Someone pointed her in the right direction. Do-hyuk already knew what Gaiman was thinking. He understood his comrade. Whenever he drank, he'd climb somewhere high and sit alone in the wind. So dramatic, just like a movie scene. After a short search, she finally found Gamin. She shouted anxiously, he's doing that thing again. I won't tease you anymore. It's dangerous, so come down. But high above, Tai-Tu was lost in his thoughts. He wanted to open his heart to Captain Do-hyuk. He began to confess, if only I were as big as the captain. Gaiman was completely absorbed in the past. Would those bastards still be able to bully me then? The boy stared into the distance, his voice full of longing. If things were different, he pulled the bandana from his forehead, choking up. If things were different, this eye. Gaiman's own eyes shimmered. He gazed at the sky with a wistful look. And my little sister. Maybe I wouldn't have lost her. Do-hyuk listened in silence, watching his kind-hearted subordinate. He shared his deepest wish. If I could just fight the alien soldiers with pure physical strength, like the captain. Tears welled in his eyes as he spoke earnestly. Then I could have protected everyone. That's why, Captain. He suddenly lost his balance. He fell backward, still stammering, if only back then. Seeing this, Manchi rushed forward, catching him in her arms. She scolded, if you can't handle your liquor, don't drink. You get drunk, climb somewhere high, and start rambling about the past. Just then, Gecko quietly approached the captain to report. I've found their outpost. Kwang Yel and Sanchi are already in position. Do-hyuk drew his sword. Then it's time to move out, he declared. Give Tai-Tu to Hwata. Old man Monte, get everyone else ready. They immediately followed his command. Gamin mumbled weakly, let's finish this quick, and have breakfast at the base. But as they arrived at the battle, he was horrified. He never expected so many monsters. He yelled for everyone to run, but they were already waiting for us. It was a trap, set to annihilate the human resistance. An entire alien regiment, led by 2 high-ranking warrior-class monsters. They were overwhelmingly powerful. Gecko was struck, a blade piercing his chest. He was gone. Sangchi fell soon after, another life extinguished. Only Kwang Yel remained, locked in a desperate duel. He fought like a madman, a deathmatch against the warrior-class alien. He'd lost all reason, his power on the verge of going berserk. In the brutal fight, both the captain and the old man were critically wounded. With them unable to fight, Gamin rose to the occasion. He took command of the troops, as the vice-captain of Squad 13. I'm ordering you, Hwata, Manchi, retreat from this battlefield. Take the captain and the old man. Manchi screamed right back in his face. Like hell, if anyone's dying today, it'll be me. He ignored her cries. That's enough. The monster prepared to strike again, and Gaiman braced himself to intercept. He pleaded desperately, no, sis, please, you know it's true. I'm the only one who can possibly hold them back, even for just a moment. And, with this shield, he gave her a faint, pained smile. So please, just stick to the plan. I'm leaving the captain in your hands. She and Hwata carried the captain and the old man, fleeing the battlefield. Only Tai-Tu remained to hold the line. Before she left, she yelled, if you die here, I swear I'll find a way to kill you again. It was the final rule of the Wild Dogs, Squad 13, when facing total annihilation. The remaining members must save their captain and prepare for the future. The captain must survive. And so, Gaiman fought on with incredible courage. He prayed for his team, vowing to avenge the Wild Dogs no matter the cost. That was their oath. We'll meet again, and share a drink by their graves. Back in the present, Hyeok thought, that was the last time I ever saw Tai-2. And yet, here he was, in a completely different timeline. The kid flinched. Are you with Min-soo? Hyeok realized. These were the wannabe thugs, Tai-2's enemies. He asked. Min-soo? Don't know him. He saw the name tag, read Jeremy. I just saw your ears and called you Tai-2 by mistake. He laughed awkwardly. Sorry about that. You took a pretty bad fall. Are you okay? He then glanced down and noticed the knife. Looks like you dropped something, he said. The kid snatched it back, telling him to ignore it. He hurried off, saying to Hyeok, I wasn't looking where I was going, either. My apologies too. Hyeok sighed, realizing. But this was another life, in another timeline, a future that should never have existed. The situation felt strange. He started to walk away, but froze. Wait a minute. Could this kid be? The scene shifts to another street, where shouts echoed. You psycho! Young Tai-2 took a brutal punch to the face. They had him cornered. Misu, you alright? One asked. Misu snarled at the boy. Damn it, you dare to fight back? Misu was furious and kicked the boy. He yelled, a worthless slave, daring to hold a weapon. His crony grabbed his shoulder. Calm down, you maniac. You're going to kill him at this rate. Misu shrugged him off. Get lost. I can handle this. He then grabbed the boy's hair. He growled through clenched teeth. Listen here, you slave. Remember what happens when you decide to defy me. Another gang member, uneasy, spoke up. Hey man, just back off. If he didn't want to see blood. But his words were cut short by a punch from Hyeok. He grabbed the thug's collar, kicked him aside, and ordered them to scram. Hyeok stood tall. He walked forward with an imposing air. You're pretty fast for a lackey. Enraged, the other thug charged, yelling, Who the hell are you, you son of a bitch? Hyeok casually tossed him aside. Misu staggered to his feet. Damn it. What the hell are you? Hyeok pointed to himself and declared, I'm just a former captain who was passing by. Kid. Tai-To's eyes fluttered open, recognizing him. That's the guy from the store. Misu's eyes widened. A captain? From the Samjerry crew? Hyeok sent a punch flying into his face. The Dingo crew, you moron. The thug sputtered. So you're from Jungsan. Tai-2 was in shock, realizing it was the famous Yongpan. Hyeok roared, Shut your damn mouth. The boy watched as Hyeok took down all three of them alone. He was amazed. So strong. So cool. I want to be just like him. A screen flashed to life. Full dive. Connecting to the game lobby. In that moment, Hyeok was annoyed. Because of that kid, he was late and got an earful from Jenny. He was still irritated. She nags like a leech. That Tai-2 kid followed him like a lost puppy, begging, Please, accept me as your disciple, master. Hyeok was on the phone, and Jenny overheard him yelling. This caused a misunderstanding with Jenny. Were you just yelling at me? Hyeok fretted. Because of that kid, I had to fix things with her. It was a total pain. But if a Tai-2 named Jacob Min is here, he clenched his fist. Then my other old squad mates might exist too. Should I search for them? He was torn. Forget it. I have my own issues. He told himself. I can't even handle my own life. I need to pay my debts first. He commanded his rig. Open chat window. Time to earn some cash. The computer responded. Opening chat window. You have entered the chat. Greetings were already flying in. Hyeok Nim, can't even start your stream on time? He smiled and greeted everyone. Messages poured in about yesterday's stream. He said, Yeah, Jenny told me. The cooking clip hit number 2 on trending. Then, a comment mentioned Anatone. That caught his attention. He pulled up Anatone's match video, telling his stream, Hold on, I'm curious about this. First, is that all HM's got? Video. I'll watch it, then we'll start Valhalla. Hyeok scrolled. Huh? The uploader is Ramen. This is. He watched the video closely and realized it was him. Other players filled the chat with question marks. A comment said, This person just bought Old Fire 3 days ago. Another added, revealing the playtime. Hyeok confirmed, Yeah, the playtime is about right. A gamer laughed. Anatone, a 3-day noob pulling off a Crimson Flame kick? Seriously? That's insane. Hyeok boasted. It's true. Everyone was impressed that he beat Anatone in just 17 hours. Hyeok grinned smugly. He said, You all saw it. Now, let's fire up Valhalla. But then he saw a comment. Holding my breath until Hyeok plays Old Fire. He paused, confused. Didn't you guys come for Valhalla? Other gamers were already setting up their own matches, making interesting challenge bets. Hyeok's jaw dropped. The bets already totaled 1,000,001. These challenges were dripping with cash. He jumped up, cracking his knuckles. You know, I'm suddenly in the mood for some old fire. He was ready to log in. Later, comments were buzzing that Bizon was the one who destroyed Anatone. He answered bluntly, "It wasn't me." Annoyed, he slapped his desk. "I already told you, it wasn't me." He was adamant. "If it was me, I'd be streaming for clout, not faking it." Bizon added, "See, I told you it wasn't really me." He even smirked. "And that guy, is that all HM's got? I think he's the one who's actually lacking." Another player agreed with him. Even Anatone got wrecked. He explained, "He just came back to old fire after a year off. He's probably just a little rusty." Bizon logged into the game, confidently stating, "Then let me show you all. I'm much better than, is that all HM's got?" The system immediately found an old fire match. Hyeok was pitted against Bizon. Bizon declared confidently, "The true tiger has arrived. Today, I'm showing Hyeok what hell feels like." Connecting to Antimet Fighter FD. From the start, Hyeok's performance was incredible, but Bizon was not about to lose. The original Hoken legend, Bizon, appeared. He pointed arrogantly at Hyeok. "So you're that famous HM?" Hyeok was a bit surprised. "Is he a celebrity?" The chat exploded, buzzing that his power rivaled Anaton's. Anaton made Hoken a Tier 1 pick, but Bizon won the most titles with him. He was known as the heir to Hoken. Both players entered the match, their eyes locked with determination. The battle began. Watching this live is the peak of my life, Bizon thought. Just as I predicted. He opened with an all-out assault. Hyeok used a new move. He abandoned his old style, fighting purely on instinct. He predicted Hyeok's attacks would be a chaotic mix. It was like seeing his younger, more rigid self. Bizon countered the provocative attacks. Hyeok's assault was fierce, and the stream chat was losing its mind. They watched, glued to the electrifying match. Bizon muttered, "Am I being pushed back?" He'd have to use the secret move he was saving for Anaton. Hyeok focused on breaking his opponent's attack, staring him down. Flames erupted as he unleashed his ultimate skills, Bullet Counter and Crimson Flame Break. The gaming community predicted, is he setting up a combo with Crimson Flame Kick? The fight was intense. Hyeok burst from the inferno. People guessed it was the reverse comment of Crimson Flame Kick. He used his ultimate technique, its power exploding like never before. Then he unleashed the Crimson Flame Spear, aiming straight for Bizon. Hyeok's strike instantly detonated everything, destroying even the largest buildings. The impact drove Bizon several layers into the ground. The spectators were in an uproar. Did he just combine the force of Scythe Fire Frenzy Kick with Rending Moon Fist? He even micro-controlled Rending Moon Kick to create a vortex, amplifying the damage. Bizon knelt, battered, amidst the ruins. His body control is insane, switching between enhanced states. Is this even possible? Bizon trembled, clutching his wounds. The recoil is so great, I can only use that once per match. Thinking Hyeok was finished, Bizon stood smugly. This match is my win. But from above, Hyeok silently appeared with the same technique. The crowd frantically tried to warn him. Bizon spun around, shocked. Above me, Hyeok's sudden blow was almost impossible to dodge. Bizon stared in disbelief at the unharmed Hyeok. "You're still standing? How?" Hyeok replied, "Thanks to you, I learned something useful. Enhance, de-enhance, then convert the kickback into a Crimson Flame Demon." Bizon's eyes widened. "No way, that's a move I spent months perfecting. You're telling me you copied it just by seeing it once?" Hyeok was thrilled with his new skill. "It wasn't that hard. I nullified your spear with Crimson Flame Demon, then used the recoil from Rending Moon Kick to teleport." Bizon was stunned by Hyeok's explanation. "Say something that makes sense." He pointed to his own wound. "What about the explosion? You can't just ignore that damage, right? Every time you detonate the Crimson Flame, the backlash tears you apart. You know that." Bizon couldn't understand why Hyeok was completely unscathed. "Then why don't you have a single scratch on you? What trick did you pull?" Hyeok casually demonstrated the move. He retracted his hand as if nothing had happened. "You just pull your hand back before the explosion hits. Like this." Bizon stood there like a clown. "What kind of nonsense is that?" The audience erupted in laughter again. "The ultimate winning strategy, folks. Just pull your hand back. Easy, right?" Hyeok hid a smirk. "We used to dare each other to stick our hands in giant gator monsters' mouths. We lost a few fingers doing that." He even threw a few taunting punches at the air. "Anyway, just like this. Pull back before the damage registers, got it?" The crowd loved Hyeok's attitude. This fight was starting to get really interesting for Hyeok. "Let's go for another round." But Bizon, though battered, remained defiant. Fine. Let's see how good you really are. Your new move is truly. Before he could finish, Hyeok shot toward Bizon, wrapped in a vortex of fire. Bizon recognized it instantly, yelling in panic. That's my Crimson Flame impact! He quickly regained his composure. Bizon predicted the next move would be a spear. A spear is a linear attack. I'll just dodge it before it connects. Bizon readied his defense, but contrary to his expectations, it wasn't a spear. It wasn't just a normal kick. Hyeok launched a powerful, godlike kick at his opponent. Blocking with his arm, Bizon thought, don't tell me it's the Scythe Fire Frenzy kick. If I can block one hit, I'll have a chance to counter. Hyeok swung his leg for the finish. The flames from his motion sent his opponent flying. Scythe Fire Hurricane Kick. Bizon was launched, his eyes white. He screamed in frustration. What kind of broken game is this? The system announced HM as the winner. Bizon was slammed flat on the ground. The spectators went wild. Mom, when I grow up, I want to be like the great idol Hyeok. I can't believe Bizon-kun got totally wrecked. Bizon glared furiously at Hyeok. He couldn't accept it and wanted a rematch, making the crowd laugh. Hyeok happily accepted. I had a great time playing too. With that, he powered up again, ready to go. The system announced another win for Hyeok. 5 straight wins left Hyeok exhausted, while Bizon looked more pathetic on the ground. Each of Hyeok's moves felt like it was knocking the soul out of him. The audience could only feel pity for Bizon's fate. The battle ended, and Hyeok walked over to help Bizon up. That triple jump into the black flame volley was awesome. I learned a lot. Now, get up. Bizon finally gave in. Well, it's good you learned something. Hyeok also silently praised Bizon's techniques. Just then, the chat brought up the comments about defeating the swordswoman and Anaton. Hyeok just smirked. He was really just trying his best. That was a sincere compliment. No shade. The viewers asked for it. Hyeok asked for his rival's name. Confirming it was Beyonce, he pointed right at him. Hyeok praised Beyonce's skills. Then, with a quick farewell, he simply vanished into thin air. This left his rival fuming, while the audience roared with laughter. Hyeok then returned to the lobby. The excited chat pushed him to start a new match. Hyeok was thrilled by the rising viewer count. His viewers hit 12,048. But why wasn't the quest reward increasing with the count? A bug? Hyeok wondered aloud. Taking the hint, the chat flooded him with donations, lighting up his screen. The crowd loved his straightforwardness. Not wanting to disappoint his fans, Hyeok immediately queued for another fight. Hyeok finished his opponent with a strike to the chest, continuing his win streak. Next came a vicious uppercut. He then tossed his foe like a toy, followed by one last knockout blow. The world around them was a wasteland. The system logged countless victories for Hyeok. He paced around, searching for a challenger, but found no one. The chat joked that he'd already cleared the server. Another challenger just quit, saying his mom called for dinner. With no one left, Hyeok was about to log off. Suddenly, a brilliant light flashed behind him, signaling a new match. A figure materialized before Hyeok. This player had been searching the servers for the one who defeated Anatole. Hyeok's new opponent was the character Gwook Gang, controlled by Suki. Hyeok recognized he was Japanese. The viewers were in for a show. This just became a battle between Korea and Japan. Just then, a user donated 1,001 for the match, providing a quick bio on the new challenger. Suki was a famous fighting game pro from Japan. He just won 2 more world championships to prove his skill. He was one of Asia's top players. A 1,000-man punch? This was taking way too long. Annoyed, Hyeok punched the long comment away. Suki seemed excited, but Hyeok couldn't understand his rambling. He switched on the translator. Suki's confident voice came through. You're the one who beat Anatole, correct? I'll be the first to defeat this mysterious Korean master. Suki taunted, daring Hyeok to move first. The chat was hyped for this showdown. Suddenly, a viewer suggested Hyeok switch characters, and he was tempted. Others began suggesting characters for him. In the end, Hyeok pointed at his foe and chose his exact character. The system confirmed the skin change. Hyeok appeared as Gwook Gang, but looked even sharper than his opponent. The viewers buzzed, wondering how this pro-level match would go. The system asked, Hyeok, have you ever played Gwook Gang? He smiled and said, no, but I'll learn as I fight. Suki just sighed and began to speak. You're really choosing Gwook Gang against me? Listen up, have you ever heard of something called gun kata? Gun kata is a fictional martial art using firearms, letting bullets fly on curved paths just like in the movies. Suki began to lecture Hyeok. Most people only pick Gwook Gang because he uses a gun, but his gun is weak and easily blocked. He lectured on, even if a few shots land, the damage is pathetic. That's why gamers think Gwook Gang is a trash-tier character. Suki's voice lowered, but that's only because they misjudge him. Gwook Gang wasn't designed for ranged combat, he added with a sly smirk. He was born to fight up close using gun kata, and the one who realized that, before anyone else, was me, Suki. He strongly advised Hyeok. I'm the one who dominated the world championships with Gwook Gang, so if you don't want to be crushed, I suggest you switch characters now. But Hyeok just smiled and replied, I'm fine. Let's see what you've got. The system screen flashed. Ready. Suki took his stance, his arrogant voice echoing, if you're going to be that stubborn, I'll show you the gap between our skills. The word fight appeared. Instantly, Hyeok started firing at Suki, saying, suit yourself. Suki returned fire continuously. He laughed in contempt. Your aim is awful. Hyeok gritted his teeth and cursed. These shots did almost no damage and provided no area control. Damn it, these don't even feel like real bullets. Suki nimbly dodged every single shot. He scoffed. I can dodge this garbage with my eyes closed. It's time I showed you how to really play Gwook Gang. Suki rushed toward Hyeok, shouting, here I come. He threw a strike at Hyeok. Suki's smug voice rang out again. Lesson 1. Gwook Gang's guns only deal real damage up close. They both aimed their guns at each other and pulled the trigger. Suddenly, Suki saw something that left him utterly shocked. His rapid fire wasn't just for control. It was a setup for his ultimate skill, gun kata. As Suki unleashed a hail of bullets, the system coolly commented, the stun gun is about to fire. Hyeok slammed his foot into a car, cursing, damn it! Suki's barrage was relentless as he roared, just die! Terrible waves of gunfire rained down on Hyeok, but he moved like a shadow, slipping right behind Suki. His opponent seethed. Damn it, that car ruined my aim. It seemed a stray bullet found its mark on Suki. He clutched his head, hissing, my ear. In that moment, Hyeok landed a clean blow to his face. Just like that, Suki's entire body collapsed. He tried to rise, only to find Lee Hyeok's gun pointed at his head. Hyeok pulled the trigger with a final word of thanks. Thanks for the lesson. The gunshot echoed with Suki's furious scream. Damn it. The system announced. Win. Chien, who watched the whole fight, couldn't contain her glee. Gawa, look, you have to see this, she exclaimed with pure excitement. Oh my god, HM's gun kata proficiency is 0%. Yet he pulled off a gun cut variant, using the same opener Suki used in past matches. She gestured wildly as she analyzed the move. Part of it was a split-second reaction, but most of it came from Hyeok studying him and striking first. The system's text popped up again. Hyeok even charmed the swordswoman who cursed him, a true master. Chien quickly shot back. That was a long time ago. Come on, let's just keep watching. The next day, a system notification appeared. Hyeok Ham is suspected of being inhuman due to his phenomenal gameplay and stream schedule. This was driving his fans into a frenzy. Hyeok's voice cut in. Hey, I'm serious. That's why I came back to streaming, alright? He thought to himself. Maybe I should just roll with their reactions? But after crushing most of the top-ranked challengers, a grim expression settled on his face. He thought grimly. Even fighting former pro players feels boring now. His viewership numbers had started to plateau, and the anti-fans were losing their excitement. Hyeok stared at the screen as thoughts raced through his mind. That moment, that was the peak. Now, everything is starting to feel the same. A dying game can only fade away. He clenched his fist with new resolve. Maybe it's time to try something different. Ease on Ford. That might be different, right? His voice grew contemplative. Now that I think of it, Blackhawk did mention EVO is coming soon. The thoughts continued to flood his mind. There's a special bracket for low-tier streamers like me to enter EVO. EVO, the Olympics of fighting games. It includes Ease on Ford and a host of other titles. Hyeok's fingers flew across the keyboard as he thought. First, I need to check the entry requirements. Let me check my stream hours and current ranking first. A news alert flashed across his monitor. Hyeok's eyes widened in shock. Huh? What is this? He muttered to himself. Don't tell me this kid is Buna. His mind reeled. The one by my side in my past life. The Destruction Dragon Emperor. Buna. This is my first time meeting one of the 9 heroes. The last pillars of humanity's resistance before my regression. In the Hall of Heroes, a man named Kubuna spoke up. So, you're the one they call Hyeok? The Hall of Heroes was a magical construct, created by a grand mage to unify the minds of the 9 heroes. Inside this virtual space, Kubuna sized up Hyeok with disdain. This scrawny kid is the one who defeated Ironheart, the strongest of the final candidates? I'm genuinely worried for the future of our resistance, Buna scoffed with pure arrogance. Let's see if you're truly worthy of all this praise. Hi. Hyeok remained silent, a thought crossing his mind. That loudmouth has to be the war maniac, Kavina. Chen Tao cut in. Move. Let me handle him. I'll start by tearing off one of his legs. With those words, Hyeok knew. The mad demon, Chen Tao. Hyeok's voice was firm. No, I'll rip off your family jewels first. The saintess, Elira, giggled behind her hand. My apologies, but Chen Tao practices the martial arts of a eunuch, so he's already, castrated. It's why he's so rebellious, and they call him the Mad Demon. Chen Tao looked utterly crushed by the humiliating reveal. He roared, You damn witch! Did you help make me a eunuch? Why do you laugh like a maniac every time it's brought up? Mark tried to placate him. Calm down. The saintess said it could be fixed, but then she said your martial arts made that impossible. You cried like a baby back then, so now she just teases you for fun. But Mark's next words completely broke Chen Tao's spirit. Just pretend it doesn't exist. I mean, it's not there anymore, right? So just accept it and live your best life, Mark said with a friendly smile. He even gave a thumbs up. Go, Chen Tao, go. Chen Tao's eyes welled with tears. Unable to hold back, he lunged at Mark, cursing his name. You bastard, you son of a bitch. Mark dodged with a laugh, taunting him. Teasing the mad demon is the best. Suddenly, Elira appeared beside Hyeok. She spoke to him. They're insane, right? Before you showed up, he was known as the greatest genius in all of humanity. The Sword Saint, Mark. Elira introduced him warmly. This is the Hall of Heroes, where the spirits of former heroes reside. Welcome to the sanctuary of the Lido Hero Resistance. Hyeok ignored her outstretched hand, turning away. Still, this atmosphere is completely chaotic. Especially for a resistance meeting. She withdrew her hand, a little embarrassed. That's because everyone is on edge. Hyeok shot her, a sharp look. On edge? The heroes at the pinnacle of the hunter world? The very ones meant to save us all? She tightened her grip on her weapon. The resistance will save this world. The greatest heroes among all hunters. But before all that, she said with a soft smile, we're still only human. After all, Hyeok stared at her, stunned. She glanced at the others, joking around. We carry the future of humanity on our shoulders. Maybe this is just our way of coping, she stated proudly. To forget that crushing burden. Even for a moment. If you can pass this trial and become one of us. She turned to face Hyeok directly. You will understand the true weight of the name resistance. Hyeok's reply was blunt. A burden born from fear. He declared with absolute certainty, I, Lido Hyeok, the one they call the war god, the first to slay one of the ruling species, will carry all of your burdens for you. So, no more whining, Quaverna shot back, looking intrigued. Let the trial begin. This is the kind of fighting spirit I like. Suddenly, massive wings erupted from his back, turning him into a fearsome beast. His killing intent soared as he roared. Let's see if you can back up those words. Hyeok yelled, Isn't that Quaverna's ultimate skill, dragonification? He grit his teeth, thinking, another transcendent being, if that's the case. A notification popped up. Owa Wayan has donated 1 million. 1. The message read, Awaken, warrior. Hyeok stared at the board, shocked. Huh? Then he saw his disciple, Lido Hyeok, donate 1,001. The current Hyeok staggered back, exclaiming, Whoa! The chat immediately started teasing him. Hyeok, completely flustered, tried to recover. Oh no, I just got lost in an old memory. The viewers found it hilarious. He returned to his computer, looking troubled. Sorry, I was just thinking about something. Staring at the news, he thought, I need to confirm this. Is this really the Quaverna I know? He asked the chat. By the way, who is this guy? The expert from Iron First? Hyeok pointed at the screen. The chat buzzed. That lunatic Quaverna dominated the anti-fire scene after his debut. He even toyed with Anatole in the last semifinals. Hyeok thought, satisfied. If he's the Quaverna I know, he's a natural-born hunter. There's no way he'd be bad at a game like Iron First. Hyeok reasoned. Of course, my Quaverna and this one exist in different timelines, so they aren't exactly the same person. He clenched his fist with resolve. But one truth remains unchanged. Then and now, even in this life, it was Quaverna. He's the one who convinced me to max out every loan for the apocalypse. Right before I regressed, he remembered their conversation. Veins popped on Hyeok's forehead, his fists clenched in rage. Right now, in this lifetime, he is the reason I'm drowning in debt. He has the exact same face as that bastard Quaverna from my past life. His expression turned gleeful. For the past Quaverna's sins, I'll hold this one responsible, he shouted. So you just wait. Quiverna. Comments flooded in, calling Valhalla trash and praising Antifire. Hyeok looked at the monitor. Oh man, I completely forgot about Valhalla. A flame war was erupting between Antifire fans and Valhalla fans. Hyeok raised his hands, flustered. I have to choose just one, he thought to himself. With Antifire, I can hit rank 1 quickly. But once I'm on top, the viewers will start to lose interest. He waved his hand, thinking, but if I switch to Iron first, which shares the same audience, I can bring those viewers over and keep them watching. He clenched his fist nervously. However, I can't just give up on Valhalla either. It's been getting a lot of hype, and the potential viewership and money are too big to ignore. Hyeok grabbed his head in frustration. His voice was desperate. This is so frustrating. Antifire or Valhalla? He fell silent, then suddenly shot up, slamming the desk. I've decided, Hyeok declared. If I must choose just one, it will be. He paused. I'll tell you after I eat, leaving everyone stunned. Lido Hyeok was live streaming. Riding a horse, he smiled brightly. I started the stream a little earlier than usual today. Everyone was surprised by his confident expression. Hey everyone, I'm planning on playing Valhalla for part 1 and Antifire for part 2 from now on. In today's second half, I will hit rank 1 in Antifire. The viewers went wild. He played both games at once. Hyeok saw his viewers hit 4,127. He smirked. The view count is still rising. It's all cash. If I had only chosen one game, I would have missed all this cash. Hyeok pulled the horse's reins happily. All right, I've made some progress. I defeated CEO Ut and even got a side quest. Let's check it out. Main quest. The kingdom's rightful heir. The story began after a massive Viking invasion. King CEO Ut I of Mercia was forced to abdicate. Earl Lee Freak, second in line to the throne, now seeks to become the next king to save Mercia from collapse. The true heir must take the throne. Otherwise, Mercia might once again become a vassal to Wessex. Hyeok smirked at the notification. Viewers knew this was a power struggle, the succession war. Chat buzzed. Tough quest. But the loot must be insane. Hyeok waved his hand. How could I kill someone who's begging for my help? Standing before a grand castle, he declared, Anyway, that place over there must be Earl Lee Freak's castle. Now, let's charge in and finish this quest. He galloped forward, axe in hand. Exactly. I'll crush the problem at its source. The viewers loved his strategy as a donation popped up. The dual axe swordsman donated 1,001. Told you so. This guy thinks on a different level. Hyeok charged at 2 stunned guards. They raised the alarm. A guard pointed his spear. Halt! Before they could react, Hyeok dispatched them. Soldiers yelled, on high alert. Intruder! Stop him! He charged, taking them down one by one. Viewers were thrilled by the easy takedowns. Soldiers blocked him. He thought, whirlwind frenzy? He leaped to attack, yelling, A lot of you came here for Antifire, not whirlwind frenzy. He kicked a soldier, sending him flying with a pained scream. A smirk played on Hyeok's lips, but this time, it's Inferno mode. Viewers gasped as his leg burst into flames. It's Inferno mode! He kicked a soldier away with a fiery blast. Terrified guards raised their shields. Block it! Charge! Hyeok spun into another kick. The flames exploded. It was blazing gale, instantly wiping them out. He stood before the doors, leaving everyone stunned. Seeing his fire roar and blazing phoenix, Hyeok was relieved. The viewers hailed him as the next Hoken. He ascended the stairs, asking, Curious? Want to see what's next? His hand touched the door. That little trick from before? Hi, Ook grinned. If you want to know, you'll have to pay up. The viewers spammed sarcastic insults, cursing Hyeok out. But he, with a satisfied face and a mountain of cash, beamed, Oh, this is sweet. So sweet. Placing both hands on the door, he said, Anyway, what I did just now. I used the basic techniques of Fire Roar and Blazing Phoenix from Antifire. His expression turned serious as he continued. I knocked over the surrounding braziers to create the flames. Then, I mimicked Fire Roar using that fire. He added, And while in that sea of flames, I unleashed all my skills to defeat them. The soldiers screamed, We must stop him from reaching the count. The knights charged forward. Hyeok readied his stance for the fight. Suddenly, cracks shot across the floor. But Hyeok swiftly glided past them. He took them down one by one, kicking an enemy away. The viewers roared with praise. A worried, brown-haired man began to curse. You bastard, how dare you set foot in this place? You filthy barbarian, get back this instant. Facing him, he said seriously, Let's end this with Gok Gang's gun. The viewers wondered. Valhalla has guns? Hyeok gripped his axe with a smirk. It exists in my heart. a gun in the shape of an axe. He hurled the axe, finishing the man. He announced, "The source of the assassination has been eliminated." Everyone was in awe. Meanwhile, someone was watching Hyeok's every move on a screen. It was Anatone, who mumbled in disbelief, "My God, he's a true monster." He seemed to have just finished training, and continued speaking. "The fire scythe and storm kick combo he used in anti-fire. I thought I had finally caught up, but he's pulling off anti-fire level moves here in Valhalla. Should I have never posted that announcement? The one about the Golden Road. An anti-fire player hitting rank 1 in just 25 hours. He had planned to end things and stream at 8 p.m. tonight. Anatone panicked, and the viewer's reaction. I never expected them to cheer him on so hard. Anatone gritted his teeth and collapsed to his knees, saying, "Damn it, they're so fired up I can't back out now." He knelt helplessly, thinking, "What do I do? I'm screwed." The scene changes to anti-fire. Hyeok had just logged in, transferring directly from Valhalla. He thought, "There's no doubt about it, anti-fire is exploding right now." He turned and asked, "Com, how far am I from rank 1 in anti-fire?" Com replied, checking the leaderboards. Com announced, "You are currently rank 5. The number 1 ranker is Anatone." Hyeok leaned forward with an amused look. "And he's got that top ranker title, the Supreme One. There's no way I'm letting that stand." He pointed cheerfully and said, "All right, let's charge straight to the top." Com began searching for a match. A player named Hyeok appeared, rank 4, with the title Swordswoman. The viewers were shocked to see her. She declared, "I've worked myself to the bone for this match. Face me, the god who killed my parents." The audience praised her role-playing, but Hyeok went rigid. He thought, "She's actually starting to creep me out," Hyeok said confidently. "After all that effort, I've completed my analysis of your Hoken. So this time, you had better be ready." He chuckled and pointed. "In that case, I've prepared something based on your character. Sword Princess. You won't mind if I switch tactics and use that instead, will you?" The viewers buzzed with questions. Hyeok's face darkened into a sinister grin. He began to transform, leaving Hyeok and the viewers completely stunned. She screamed, "You're insane!" Hyeok stood proudly, sword in hand. The viewers were shocked. "That's the sword dancer, Scheherazade, the male version of Hyeok." She gritted her teeth, saying, "Unbelievable. You dare choose that sword? Then I'll show you just how treacherous a sword can be." The fight began, Hyeok unleashing strikes that bloomed like flowers. As soon as she finished, she was utterly crushed. Hyeok gloated, "Looks like this is your stop, Sword Princess. Next match." Com announced, "Match complete," summoning the next opponent. Suddenly, a panicked young man appeared, saying, "No, not me next." Everyone looked down on him, seeing him as the next punching bag, and he was terrified. Hyeok greeted him warmly. "Long time no see, Beyonce." Beyonce's face darkened. "Damn it, I have no other choice. But I came prepared." He pulled out his weapon and roared, "This time I will face you with my main character." The system announced, Scheherazade, 5 consecutive wins. Beyonce was bound in chains, trembling as he was hung upside down. Hyeok sighed in relief. "Whew, but you have grown a little bit." The viewers had already guessed the result long before the fight ended. Hyeok said, "So now I'm rank 2. All right, let's queue up for the next match. It would be perfect if I got paired with Anatone." Com immediately responded, "Match found." The next opponent was found. Anatone appeared, clad in golden armor. The viewers went wild, thinking Anatone was about to get destroyed. He flusteredly shouted, "Oh, come on, I seriously prepared for this match." Hyeok replied, "Thank goodness, I've been waiting, Anatone. We finally meet face to face." Anatone forced a smile. "I've been waiting for you too, Leto, Hyeok." He thought to himself, "Damn it, I'm still not mentally prepared for this." Anatone frowned, thinking, just standing in front of him sends a chill down my spine. Excitement and fear are hitting me all at once. Can I really beat this guy with my current skills? Hyeok commented, "That's some nice armor." Anatone awkwardly replied, "This? Oh, I designed it myself." He continued, "You get a custom design if you win the championship." Anatone thought to himself, "Right. Just how many skin sets do I have?" Anatone eyed his weapon and thought, "At least 10 sets. I won 3 championships with Lancer alone. In other words, the number of skins equals the number of world titles." Anatone stared and thought again, and I was actually doubting if I could win against him? Damn it. What in the world is happening? Anatone stood defiantly, spear in hand, as the viewer count hit 33,452. The cheers of the crowd fueled his ego. "That's right, for them." Anatone lunged first, roaring, "This won't be easy, because I'm blocking the path to number 1. Hyeok replied, You think this is enough? Their skills clashed. Hyeok was shocked as Anaton's blow actually sent him flying. Hyeok landed safely, gritting his teeth. Anaton rushed in with a fiery barrage, creating clones and saying, "Don't worry." But Hyeok dodged every attack. With a grim face, he thought, "That move is just like the swordswoman's flower and phantom sword. No storm can shatter a solid island in an instant." Flames erupted around his sword as Hyeok shouted, "I'll show you the true power of a great sword, one that shatters all illusions." He thought, "This is the very skill that wiped out an alien legion in one strike." His eyes blazed with killing intent, his entire body on fire. Anaton's face went pale. "Impossible," he stammered. The blade fell, tearing everything apart. Viewers screamed at the devastating attack. The entire stage was annihilated. Hyeok let out a breath, and the crowd saw it as a masterpiece. Absolutely incredible. Right after the battle, Hyeok admitted he copied Gufgang's finisher, stunning the online community. He glanced at the lingering energy, remarking, "This match was actually pretty fun." Anaton, enraged by the mockery online, declared he would fight back, but Hyeok told everyone to stop, knowing Anaton wouldn't dare attack under his immense pressure. He said that, for Anaton, to even struggle was a sign of some talent. The comment left Anaton speechless. The community just laughed even harder. Hyeok cheerfully insisted it wasn't a backhanded compliment. As the arena restored, he prepared for the next round. A donator called Anaton a punching bag, making him burn for a rematch. But instead, Anaton used a teleport skill and vanished. He landed in a dense forest, muttering curses about the game. Meanwhile, netizens relentlessly teased his drop from rank 1 to rank 8. He sat up, trying to justify himself. "I landed 3 hits. Anaton was then stunned by breaking news. Lido Hyeok was starting Iron First, and he was aiming for the world's top 100. Someone asked how far Hyeok could go, making Anaton pause. His face darkened as he answered, "If you'd asked me yesterday, I would have praised his skill, but I'd still have my doubts about him winning, because Iron First is crawling with monsters." Anaton thought of legends like Kwapna and his international victories, but now, to answer that question, after feeling the pressure he gives off. For Lido Hyeok, nothing is impossible, not even Iron First. Anaton was sure Hyeok would dominate the competition. How far could he go alone? Elsewhere, Hyeok suddenly logged in to play Valhalla. His appearance stunned the viewers. He said he might play part 2 depending on his mood, or he might just quit. A comment appeared. "Since you hit number 1 in Anti-Fire, what's the next game?" Hyeok said he would try the newest fighting game. He instructed his virtual assistant to set his Iron First nickname to his usual, "Hung, is that all you've got?" But he was shocked to find 1,173 other players using that name. The community exploded. So many. Regardless, Hyeok had the assistant connect to the game. The system began connecting to Iron First. Hyeok's setup was complete. A sleek interface showed his name, Hung. Is that all you've got? He arrived with the roaring support of his fanbase. The game offered him 3 modes: story, online, and offline. Hyeok was surprised to see a story mode at all. Anti-Fire never had one, so everyone asked if he would choose it. But he hesitated, remembering what players had said about that mode, that it was nearly impossible to beat. Hearing that, he chose online mode, just like in Anti-Fire. Online mode was selected. The assistant began searching for an opponent. A powerful force slammed down in front of him. On the forums, the news exploded. Hyeok had joined Iron First, and the praise was endless. Elsewhere, a young man at his computer scoffed at the news, but even he was shocked. Hyeok had shaken the scene with just a few matches. This was Akuma, a professional gamer and member of Team VSS. Akuma flinched as Ion clapped his shoulder reassuringly. He told Ion that even a skilled player needs time to adapt, because moving from Anti-Fire to Iron First, the game's mechanics and vibe are completely different. But he couldn't understand why everyone loved this Hyeok guy. Ion asked Akuma, "You sound skeptical, don't you?" He then told Akuma, "At first, I also thought that he was, but didn't finish." Ion just nudged him, saying they needed to face Hyeok and train harder. He walked away, leaving Akuma totally confused, and said, "I'm doing a full dive. Join when you're ready." Akuma was lost in thought, refusing to accept that Hyeok was better than him or Anaton. He wanted Hyeok to learn painfully that Iron First was a whole different world. Elsewhere, a battle was raging, and someone's sword had been shattered in 2. With the nickname Immortal, Hyeok had already secured victory with 18 wins and 0 losses. Amid the cheers, he asked, "Aren't you guys getting bored?" The reaction from the online community was the exact opposite. He was hoping for a worthy opponent when he was matched again. The Demon King Amoka had been summoned, and his stats were impressive. The netizens marveled at a win rate that was reaching a divine level. Seeing this, Hyeok himself wondered about his opponent's rank, a destroyer versus a god. With a win rate that high, the crowd buzzed with suspicion. They'd never heard of Amuka. It had to be a Smurf account. It didn't take them long to figure it out. Amuka was simply Akuma spelled backward. He was here to cause a storm with this alternate character. His goal was to brand Hyeok with a loss to an alt account and claim the title of the first person to defeat the hero, something even Ion couldn't do. Akuma took his stance and declared, "Let the fight begin." But Hyeok was still curious about the Thunder God style, which the chat explained was difficult but versatile. Someone challenged him to fight the Demon King, and he immediately agreed. Hyeok pointed confidently right at Amuka. To absorb his technique, "I should become him," he said, as his title changed. "Humph, is that all you've got?" With that, Hyeok's transformation into the Demon King using the Thunder God style left the crowd completely satisfied. The Demon King Amuka seethed, sensing the mockery, but Hyeok just replied cheerfully, "I didn't mean it that way." He claimed he needed to learn from him, even calling Akuma his master. This mockery sent Akuma into a rage, and he entered a battle stance. But Hyeok's expression was just pure mischief, leading Akuma on a wild chase. The viewers found it hilarious to see him toy with the Demon King. Mid-run, he stopped, announcing his strategy was to make his rival let his guard down. Then, Hyeok spun around and threw a Demon King punch. Amuka and the online community finally understood his plan. The two rivals clashed, their power perfectly matched. Hyeok even offered a word of praise. Seeing Amuka's swift reaction, he launched a kick that missed, just as the Demon King attacked from behind. The crowd screamed for Hyeok to be careful. Amuka rushed at Lido Hyeok, channeling the Demon King's power. He landed a Thunder Fist, shocking the audience. A last-second block saved Hyeok, but sent him flying into a wall. He finally realized his mistake. The controls in this game were different. Getting serious, Hyeok unleashed his own power, winding up a massive punch. Amuka had only been testing him, concluding that Hyeok relied on reckless power. Now, he began to execute his afterimage technique. He taunted Hyeok, saying he wouldn't touch a single hair on his head. Those watching the match recognized it as Amuka's high-speed skill, the thunder-shattering Phantom Step. But Hyeok wasn't surprised by this move in the slightest, because he could do it too, and he countered with the exact same technique. Hyeok gathered his power to give Amuka a taste of his own medicine. The explosive Thunder Fist completely overwhelmed him. With the phantoms scattered, Hyeok easily spotted the real Amuka. To celebrate mastering the Thunder Fist, he decided to use a different power. One comment read, "He's insane," because this was the Iron Mountain Crush. Hyeok charged forward with a terrifying power that surpassed the Thunder Fist. Meanwhile, Amuka was frozen to the spot, forced to take the hit. Viewers watched in awe as he combined Thunder Fist and Iron Mountain Crush to send Amuka flying. At that same moment, in Japan's Tekken arena, the champion, a player named Suki, was basking in the roar of his fans. An MC approached to congratulate him on his victory. She asked about the skills he used in the match and the secret to his success. Hearing the words "secret to victory," his mind flashed back to Hyeok. He remembered his intense match against him in Antifire, where all his moves were useless. Constantly replaying that battle in his mind, Suki learned a great deal, which led him to this championship. He looked up, recalling Master Hyeok's words, telling him his dual-wielding method was wrong. On the screen was the character Ninja Hattori, a dual-wielder. Suki had applied Hyeok's teachings to defeat all his opponents, but he couldn't say any of that. Due to the bitter rivalry between their countries, Suki, the pride of Japanese fighting games, couldn't admit it. If he did, he would become a traitor. In the end, Suki simply credited the cheers of the audience and the help of his team. The fans below erupted in cheers after his speech. The MC then mentioned that TikTok had slots for Evo, including a category for streamers. Then she asked if Suki had heard that Shinji, the strongest of the next generation, would also be there. He was stunned to hear about a tournament for streamers. Evo would be Shinjiro's debut. As he was lost in thought about Hyeok showing up, he accidentally dropped his trophy. The more he thought, the more he realized that the demon Lido Hyeok's appearance would ruin the Crown Prince's debut. Lost in thought, Suki didn't hear the MC. Back with Lido Hyeok, he was catching up on community news that Taurus would soon host a tournament. He had already heard about it from Anatole, and was told to keep it a secret. He pretended not to know, saying it was just a Tekken tournament. And they're hosting it on TikTok? Everyone could see right through Hyeok's terrible acting. But when someone asked if he would join, he said he would. Hyeok declared his determination to take back the title of strongest from Kyawana. Everyone who heard was hyped for their showdown. He then logged into Tekken to quickly claim the #1 rank. The Demon King Hyeok had arrived in the game. Fans eagerly awaited the confrontation with Kyawana. Meanwhile, in Johannesburg, Africa, Someone was looking for him. When found, he was busy and told them to wait a moment. He then held up his hand and said he was done. This man with the itchy ear was Kyo-na, the Tekken world champion, who held the rank of number 1. Considered a monster, he was surprised when the girl told him someone was talking about him. She added that his ear must be itching. It was a Korean superstition that your ear itches when you're being talked about. Kyo-na scoffed, saying he didn't believe in superstitions. She reminded him of his promise to his late grandmother to save the world, which he was fulfilling. He remembered his grandmother, a respected shaman, but both his parents and grandmother had albinism. He recalled the white tragedy that tore his family apart. He and his grandmother luckily escaped, thanks to Bianca's Bantu tribe. They had protected him and his grandmother. The girl standing there wondered what he was trying to say. Kyo-na continued to remember his grandmother's prophecy, saying he was the witness to that final moment, the scene of his family's destruction. Fate had turned him into a hero. He told her he had placed great faith in it. He trained hard, burdened by his parents' demise. When his body and mind were finally forged, she revealed the voided prophecy, leaving him utterly stunned. She added a warning: beware the one who shatters thunder. He struggled to grasp her cryptic words, so the girl asked what was on his mind. Shaking off his thoughts, he refocused. He told the staff he needed to see the entire team, leaving her completely baffled by the sudden request. Kyo-na stated Iron Fist would end after this tournament. His eyes blazed, fists clenched tightly. His powerful aura flared as he commanded, "Let them know, this is for Iron First. This tournament will be the very last one." Shocked, the girl asked, "What? What do you mean?" Kyo-na continued, "I joined Iron Fist because I heard there were strong fighters like me here. But rarely can anyone withstand a single one of my punches. I want that feeling again, the thrill of fighting a true powerhouse, a fight that makes my entire body tremble." He revealed his decision. Everyone who said Iron Fist had strong opponents, they were all lying. That's why I'm leaving Iron First. After this tournament ends, I suppose I'll have to find a new job. But just as he finished, a voice shouted in protest, "Why such a hasty decision?" But Kyo-na replied coldly, "It doesn't matter. I'll announce it before the tournament begins." Meanwhile, at Hyeok's location, he stood weapon in hand. Victoriously, he destroyed his opponent. He exclaimed, "Wow, this one was actually strong." The system announced, "Is that all you've got?" 1174. The Demon King is victorious. Whoa, he actually reached rank 1 as the main character, Trevor. He did it by stealing Trevor's staff. At this rate, he might even reach the God's Throne. Hyeok looked puzzled. The God's Throne? The chat exploded. The God's Throne on day 2? The God's Throne is the highest possible rank, achievable within the world of AFI. Hyeok grinned with excitement. Then it won't be long now. The spectators continued their chatter. Haha, because rank number 1 is within reach? Those at God tier better watch their backs. Seeing Dojun's 56 wins and 0 losses, Hyeok spoke up. Should we go find victim number 57? Next opponent, please step up. A machine reported. Searching for an opponent. Match found. Your opponent is being summoned. A comment popped up. Who's next on the victim list? Haha. Just then, another fighter appeared. System display. Sword God Masamune Kenshin, 1774. A young man with a sword and a cold gaze materialized amid a flurry of netizen comments. Whoa, God Dojun is even higher than a true god. That username is insane. The man glared, thinking, my name is Shinzo, Japan's rising star. In the fighting game community, I, who will surpass the great Suki-san, received a warning from Suki-san himself. He recalled Suki-san's words. As for Dojun-san, he's even superior to Anatole. Do not let your guard down. Shinzo thought, I've watched his live streams just in case. I have no choice but to take that warning seriously. He defeats everyone, no matter who they are. Shinzo gripped his sword, his eyes sharp. But that's not something that scares me. I must confirm it before the tournament. I have to see with my own eyes that I am stronger. I need to test his true power. He strategized against the Hyeok before him. Shinzo quickly raised his sword, ready to strike. He declared loudly, true strength belongs to the one who endures to the end, and I will prove it. System display. Ready. Instantly, Hyeok rushed forward with a punch, a dangerous grin on his face. That's right, I need you to survive for a long time. Fight. Hyeok surged forward like a lightning bolt, attacking with a cunning look. If this match ends too quickly, I won't make a single dollar. In that instant, Shinzo's sword met Hyeok's fist, and he masterfully deflected the blow. Gripping his sword, he slipped behind his opponent. Shinzo seized the opening, sweeping Hyeok's legs out from under him. The technique sent Hyeok stumbling to the ground. Released Moon Mutadori, a bladeless style to counter swords. Shinzo glanced away, his expression unreadable. He then unleashed a powerful slash towards Hyeok, a terrifying strike, sinking moonlight. The blow connected, sending Hyeok crashing to the floor. The audience erupted. God, Jun took a hit. Is this for real? But suddenly, Hyeok reappeared right behind him and glanced over, saying, "Don't worry, I'm fine." The words sent a jolt of shock through Shinzo. Realizing he'd been tricked, Shinzo cursed in anger. "Damn it, did I just strike an afterimage?" Hyeok laughed cheerfully. "You got it." He struck Shinzo's wrist with his hand, dislodging the sword from his grasp. Hyeok turned the tables, launching his own attack. With a grunt, he slammed Shinzo to the ground. Casually picking up the sword, he spoke. "Mutodori counter." Shinzo slapped Hyeok's hand away and broke free. He quickly rose into a defensive stance, wary and frowning. "You've mastered Mutodori enough to steal my sword. Where did you learn that art?" Hyeok raised his hand, an excited look on his face. "Oh, this technique? This one." He thought back to Jinchiba, the sword saint of the 9 heroes from his past life. "My swordsmanship is just a pale copy of her own." Even at the pinnacle of swordsmanship, she never called herself a sword god, choosing the title sword saint instead. And yet you, a mere kid, dare to claim the title of sword god? However, that horizontal slash, that Mutodori and released moon felt so familiar. They're identical to the sword saint style. Shinzo grew impatient, demanding an answer. "I see the essence of my family's swordsmanship in your moves. So admit it. Who was your master?" But Hyeok ignored him, lost in thought. "There's one thing I must confirm." Taking a stance with the sword, he declared, "If you want answers, survive this next attack." Shinzo's eyes widened in shock at his stance. "What? That stance? It can't be." Hyeok glared, his killing intent overflowing. He dashed forward, sword in hand, unleashing a devastating thrust at Shinzo. Hyeok executed a powerful slash. Moon Fang Light. Shinzo was sent flying, utterly astonished. "Impossible. That's my family's Moon Fang secret technique. Just who is he?" The system displayed the result. "Is that all you've got?" Victory. The crowd buzzed with confusion once again. What kind of technique was that? Even as a demon king, he's still God. Jun. Jin scowled, shouting, "Who the hell are you?" The chat erupted. Did he just take his sword? Blade God Jun just schooled him, on the true way of the sword. Hearing this, Hyeok smirked, satisfied. He had guessed correctly, recognizing the Moonlight Fang slash. Jin, puzzled by his calm demeanor, asked again, "Who are you?" But Hyeok simply returned the question. "Before I answer, do you have an older sister?" His words left Jin completely stunned. "Huh? Haha, what? My sister? That's the kind of line you'd hear in the military barracks? Jun is the best donated 1001. Does he mean, if you're not satisfied, call your sister? Is that what he's saying? Haha, that's right. If you can't handle it, call for backup." Hyeok just chuckled. "No, that's not what I meant." Another comment appeared. The "you have potential" era is over. Now it's the "do you have a sister" era. With that, Hyeok turned to leave. Jin cursed, "You bastard, get back here." He replied, "Sure, but what about your sister?" A short time later, in Japan, the scene cuts to a traditional house. "Your sister? Where's your sister?" In a room, a young woman was deep in sword practice. She trained with intense focus, recalling the principle, step right to trap the moonlight in the blade. When the steel is imbued, one slash can shatter the world. Channeling her power, she struck with a mighty slash, sending objects flying. Moonlight Fang slash. Suddenly, her knees buckled. She clutched her arm, trembling in pain. "Ugh, my arm. What about the tatami rolls?" She eyed the rolls she just cut, filled with disappointment. "I only managed to cut 2 rolls into 3 or 4 pieces. The final strike was imperfect. The clan's first master cut through stone and felled forests with a single blow. Is that even possible?" A voice suddenly called from the door. "Sister, are you in there?" Her brother, Jin Chiba, rushed in. "Sister, Chizo Chiba, heir of Suzaku Chiba, you were once called the sword saint of this generation." As he approached, a blade's tip pointed right at his face, stopping him cold. His sister held the sword, her voice chilling. "Didn't I tell you never to disturb my training, Jin Chiba?" Her skill surpassed even the eldest son, Chiba Kazuma, once hailed as the strongest. Seeing her rage, Jin quickly explained, "Sister, I have to ask you something. Did you teach the moonlight blade technique to an outsider?" Her brow furrowed in anger. "Are you trying to insult me? Are you looking for a fight?" "Fine. Get your gear and meet me on the floor." Jin broke into a cold sweat, pleading, "That's not what I meant," he thought to himself. From her reaction, she definitely doesn't know him. So why is his sword style exactly like hers? He even acted as if he knew my sister. I have to figure this out. Jin said to her. Sister, please come with me, she asked, puzzled. Do you want to go out for a duel? He replied. No, there's just something I need to show you. Outside, an ominous sky swirled with lightning. Yo, hi OCC, and that insane ultimate from Du Gort. I've seen everything now. Please use a swordsman from the next round on. A system notification appeared. You have reached God tier, he gasped. The comments exploded. Haha, he's at God tier already? How much further is he gonna go? Hyeok suddenly waved with a smile. Sorry everyone, but that's all for today. The crowd groaned. Not again! Someone start the donations! Haha! Hearing this, Hyeok looked a bit sad. Hey, I'm not that kind of streamer, he explained. Besides, I have things to do. But then, a notification rang out. Lee has donated 9,215. 1. Wait, 92,151. 1. Can you show us your sword skills? Another 92,151. 1. I'll send more if you do. Seeing the alerts, his entire demeanor changed as he leaped for joy. Oh my gosh. How did you guess the plan for the Part 2 stream? The chat flooded with comments. Look at him flip the second he sees money. Ha ha ha. He glanced at the system, thinking, I've hit God tier in API War. That means I qualify for the tournament in a few days. If it's for my swordsmanship, can I use a different game? A system message appeared. As long as a sword is used, any game is acceptable. He smiled and announced, All right, I'll play the game I had planned for the second half of the stream. Switching games. Viking Legend returns. The Rise of Valhalla. In a wild new form, Hyeok appeared on horseback. I have returned. The audience roared. Let's go, it's Valhalla. He held a knife with interest. It's been a while since I played this one, but I brought a knife for this mission. Wait, is that a kitchen knife? Hyeok replied casually. Yeah, I stole it from a kitchen last time. A message popped up in chat. Huh? They asked for sword skills. Are you planning to cook for them? Hyeok just laughed. That's not it. Suddenly, a spear flew past as a voice shouted, There he is! A squad of armored men on horseback charged him. Enemy of the Jarl. The chat buzzed. Whoa, is this payback for killing those assassins last time? This is gonna be a pain. Facing that, many knights will be exhausting. The shield unit is here, too. Another group, shields raised, charged forward aggressively. Oxy looked slightly overwhelmed as they closed in. For the glory of Wessex, charge! They attacked with heavy weapons, giving him little room to move. They're on me like a pack of hounds. Gritting his teeth, Hyeok parried their strikes with his knife, stunning the viewers. Can a kitchen knife even hurt a knight? He then kicked a knight square in the face, using the man to vault completely over his head. The knight crashed to the ground. Hyeok pressed the attack, his knife a blur, slaughtering his foes with the simple weapon in his hand. He cut them down. Knife in hand, Hyeok flew at the remaining knights, yelling, For Valhalla! Unafraid, they screamed back, For the king! But Hyeok used his small blade to dismantle them one by one, leaving destruction in his wake. Praise flooded the comments section. Whoa, all that with just a kitchen knife. The knights look so cool though. I almost feel bad for those guys waiting in the back. Heh, even the NPCs are starting to panic. Hyeok glared at them, muttering, Should I use this move to end it all? The crowd roared, Yeah, unleash that sword technique. The stubborn fools shouted, Shields, hold the line. Before they could brace themselves, Hyeok unleashed his crescent moon fang, wiping them out. Bodies and shattered shields flew everywhere. Viewers went wild. There it is, the legendary one-hit kill skill. Ugh, I need new pants. Haha, a system window appeared. Kingdom's rightful heir. Quest complete. Hyeok was stunned. Huh? What? Isn't this quest supposed to clear after the true heir, Aether, reclaims his throne? Someone asked. For real? But you haven't even met Aether yet? A new notification popped up. The annihilation of the Temple Guard has intimidated the Wessex Kingdom. They will no longer interfere in Mercia's succession war. From now on, terrifying rumors about the player will spread across the Wessex Kingdom. The chat erupted with comments. Haha, they totally deserved it. Last time, I only took down a few knights. Yeah, right. And that whole group of assassins. Just kill anyone you see. Meanwhile, in a home in Japan, an excited voice called out, Sis, look, isn't that our family's moonlight sword style? Yen watched the screen and spoke. No, that's not our school's swordsmanship. Chizo was in disbelief. Huh? It's different? Yen analyzed it, thinking, Our moonlight sword focuses on speed, but his style is all about destructive power. It's pure, absolute domination. It still holds the essence of our family's art. That's the level of mastery I've always wanted to achieve. Yen asked Chizosuchi. What game is this? He gave her an annoyed look. Huh? Seriously? I'm always asking you to play, but you always turn me down to train. So why the sudden change? Yen clenched her fist, her voice filled with conviction. I think I've finally found it. My path, my way of the sword. The next day, Hyeok and his companion were walking down the street. Are you sure this is the right way? But the girl beside him snapped. Yes, it is. Stop asking, he sighed, exasperated. We've been walking for an hour while you're holding the map. Li Qian stammered. This is the right place. But what about the editor you're supposed to meet today? At this, Hyeok's eyes lit up with a grin. You said this person is younger than me, right? Is she pretty? Qian answered flatly. What? It's a guy. Oak's face fell. I knew that was just wishful thinking. The two of them stopped in front of a store. He pointed at the sign. Cafe 389. Isn't that the place? Qian paused. Yeah, wait a second. I have to call him first. They opened the door and stepped inside. Hey, we're here. A young man stood there to greet them. Sis, I'm here. Qian waved happily. Hey, long time no see. Hi. Oak was surprised to see him. Oh, you're that kid. The boy was just as shocked. Ah, bro. What are you doing here? Hi, OC pointed at Min and turned to Qian. Don't tell me he's the person you wanted to introduce me to? Qian was confused. Huh? You know Min? Suddenly, Min rushed towards him, shouting, Why did you just disappear that day? He thought. I never even got the chance to thank him for saving me. He ran up and grabbed both of his hands. I've been thinking about you ever since that day. Hyeok recoiled. Huh? Min thought. Finally, I can express my gratitude. With tears of joy in his eyes, Min cried, I missed you, he thought to himself. Bro, your strength. You're totally my type. He lunged in for a hug, making Hyeok yell, What the? Qian shrieked. Whoa, are you two dating? Hyeok quickly shoved Min away, shouting furiously. What the hell are you talking about? Thrown aside, Min still looked thrilled. Wow, so strong. I think I'm falling in love. The scene changes to that evening at Iron First. Hi. Oki landed with a heavy thud. Everyone was surprised. You're here earlier than usual. He grinned. Ah, that's because I have an announcement to make today. They were curious. What's up? Are you trying to play today without being bothered? He quickly clarified. No, not that. You know how. Everyone keeps asking for videos of my old matches? I decided to make my own YouTube channel. From now on, I'll be posting all my videos there. The crowd started buzzing. I just saw the new video he uploaded today. The quality is insane. What the heck? There's even unreleased footage. Awesome, you found a really good editor. Hearing this, Hyeok smirked to himself. Looks like everything worked out after all. That whole situation was so embarrassing. He remembered being at the cafe, with Min loudly declaring, Even if you're rude, I still like you. Hyeok had quickly covered his mouth. Wait, I respect your preferences, but I'm not into men. But Min had clarified, No, I want to be your slave. Hyeok clenched his fist, thinking, I cleared up the misunderstanding and even hired him as a trial editor, but I'll be keeping a close eye on you, you little brat. Hyeok announced, Anyway, since the EVO qualifying tournament is just around the corner, I'm going to focus on raising my rank. Kiom, start matchmaking. Kiom's voice responded. Now initiating Iron, first matchmaking. At the same time, on the Japanese Iron First server, Chizo was staggered by a brutal attack. He backed away, trying to recover. Damn it! What kind of sword style is that? He then shouted, Sis, are you positive you've never played Iron First before? I don't care how skilled you are with a sword in real life, but you defended and countered every single one of my moves. How is that even possible? You're not even using any assist.